Alright, I think we are back. I verified the game files, deleted all the caches, whatnot. Hopefully, whatever is incorrectly stuck or has been incorrectly stuck has been fixed now. So let's try this battle again. For the third time.
Going down. Fire the last batteries. Set the course.
Okay. Managed to take them out. I think we might have done that last time as well. Then we shifted over a tiny bit. We were still not within range to make the shot. Yeah. So we ended up just launching our fighters and calling it good enough. Actually, I had rotated them. Not that it matters overly much, but it was a minor change. They might be close enough to shoot at us. It would be a shame, because last time they couldn't. Are they going to successfully kill that ship this turn? Yeah, so they are able to get some shots off. That's a shame. Alright. Oh, and I do remember reading, someone said something about turning off pause on load or something. Pause on loading screen. Let's turn that off. Pause on trap is good. I want to keep that. Okay. Save that. Now here, we want to do that so we get a better directionality. Okay, that does get you within this shot range.
This one's going down.
Doing basically no damage.
Bleed them.
Perfect.
Onward.
Sadly, no one else within range. Possibly could have killed them with that and then had this gun to fire there. That would have been the smarter choice. But oh well.
Unleash up.
And you're within range. Damage will go to their shields, which I guess is fine. Oh, it did do damage through anyway. Perfect. You can get over here. That's what we're looking for. And I can do the same thing. Have you go there. Let's see. They've taken a bunch of damage to their shields on this side, though, so it would make more sense to go there instead. Fire where their shields are gone. Oh, left them at 5 hit points. And then go in front to block them, because it's funny. And good strategy. they're only able to get a couple of guns in play when they're all jammed up. It's silly, though, from a gameplay perspective that we can actually stop this giant Corvette from doing what it needs, like maneuvering around the battlefield by just parking a couple of interceptors in the way. But whatever, I don't make the rules.
This one's going down.
Particularly because they're capable of ramming, like they've got the front of the ship is designed for ramming. You would think they would be willing to just push forward through the little interceptors. Now here's hoping. Hey, that's much faster. There we go. Huzzah. So yeah, I don't even remember what we were working on. But we dealt with the pirates. We do have unidentified ruins on this planet. I know we were going around checking out all of the rumors that we hadn't explored. So let's continue doing that, I suppose. This team's probably fine. No, we've been here before. Yeah, this is where we did all of that. I remember that, so... Is it just still referred to as unidentified ruins even though we've been here? Okay. Then probably whatever rumors we were dealing in that area was just the pirates. But I'd have to go back to my bridge to verify that. Oh, let's do the repairs though. There we go. Not the bridge. I should have gone to the map. It's fine. We can go to the map from here. So presumably that pirate that we fought, we didn't take out the main pirate, so they're still somewhere. And I'm sure we've got another rumor about where they're at so we could chase them down farther again. Yeah, so there's no rumors in this current system. Loathsome Discovery is up there. What are you? Sickening sight unfolds as hundreds of ungodly mutants wander in an enclosed encampment. Right. We wakened the prism, it gave us directions to Namar 4. So we'll want to go back up there at some point. But we are also on our way down here to check out these systems. So that's only a couple of jumps away. Particularly if we take this risky jump. That's the one to deal with the main quest. With the other rogue trader who's just on a hunt. Yep, we've read that one before. Game should auto do that. I think that loaded faster than normal, which would mean the cache is slower than actual work. Maybe. Let's make this safer. And then head up there. Cool, no events. So on a lava world, we have something going down. So, presumably you. No, it's going to be this arid point, or this arid world. Huh. Thought the rumor said something about a lava world. Maybe I'm just misremembering. We could mine for phlogiston or steel. Plasteel. We could use more phlogiston. It's not a great amount, but we do have 19 extractium, so I think I'm going to. just to get a little bit more. We don't need the plasteel. Let's check out this event. The Homunculus' prism that had been kept aboard the ship has activated again. Augurs detect another Drukhari beacon, only this time the dark artifact from the Homunculus' laboratory establishes connection with it as soon as the ship enters orbit. The prism shows the next set of coordinates, but the beacon on the planet's surface continues emitting its sinister signal. You can send a scout team out to the beacon, or ready the ship's weapons and destroy the beacon and the enclosure from orbit. Let's send scouts to the beacon, see what we can determine, rather than just destroying it from orbit. This time around, the scene the scouts face is no less loathsome than the last. Hundreds of those who were undoubtedly at some point humans are lined up in a chain of bizarre geometric shapes, their bodies fused with each other at the hands and the feet, swinging steadily, unable to fall. Tortured whales break through sewn lips, and burned out eye sockets gape outward from mutilated faces. Do we bring the beacon to the ship? I think so, because ultimately we could just destroy it, but there's got to be similar things elsewhere. And finding the whole chain of whatever's going on here so we can destroy it all makes more sense than just destroying the heresy here and moving on. Anything we can discover about what's going on helps us deal with all of it rather than just this one location. So bring the beacon to the ship, and then hopefully afterwards we burn the ungodly place. The removal of the beacon from its platform leads to a grotesque spectacle, as if the beacon had sent a signal. Unseen devices within the mutants activate sequentially, burning out each mutant's innards with a scarlet glow, one after the other. Continuing down the chain, the poor souls' bodies slowly smolder and turn to ash. Well, we probably didn't want that being done by xeno artifacts, but the end result is the same. We would have burned them, because whatever heresy was going on here, we would have destroyed. So it's fine, I guess. But we got a new location check out for this chain, which is probably here. Path of Revulsion, yeah. We could just keep following this along, or we could deal with all of these that I keep wanting to get back to. There's not really a fast way. I could make this safer, and then we're nearly there. Sure. I do like that when we make a path safer, it stays that way, so that we don't... It's not just a one time I've made it safer and the next time it's still dangerous. That's a nice bit of convenience so that we can make routes that we want to use. Lord Captain, the Astropathic Choir has received word about a pirate fleet that is preparing to attack one of our richest extractiums. I believe it's the thugs from the elusive Contempt again. Their next target is one of the planets in the silence of Mer Sergit. Okay. So that's down here, which I don't have a fast way to get to, but I do want to keep taking on these pirates, particularly if they are in process of taking out or taking our resources. So from here, we could jump down to here, which is then a single jump up to there. A little bit of a convoluted path, but it's fine. Let's see. Yeah, I think we've read that one as well. I do like that there are so many events that happen when you're jumping through the warp, but there aren't enough. And maybe the game assumed that I would be making more paths safe, so we wouldn't see them that often. Certainly I should when I have 48 Navigator's Insight, but at least the first act of the game, we didn't have enough insight to make all the paths safe. And now I'm just used to traveling on unsafe paths. A warp breach. Ungodly fiends spreading sorcerous disease walk the lower decks, gathering a cohort of infected voidsmen. If no measures are taken immediately, the entire bay could be turned into a den of heresy. Yeah, we've done this a bunch of times where we just go down and destroy them, or we could give up some cargo. I think rather than us facing them again, this is like the third or fourth time we've gotten this event, we'll just pay the holy gifts. Blessed by holy gifts, the God Emperor's loyal servants will battle his enemies without any fear or doubt. Blessed relics instill the souls of the voidsmen with such faith that there was no room for fear or doubt. It may have taken a staggering number of casualties to prevail over the enemy, but the sacrifice was not in vain. Meanwhile, it's like, we could fight them easily enough, our 6 people, and easily win, but instead, I'm not really feeling up to it. The rest of you go fight. Here's some holy relics. A lot of you will die. Alright, let's take on these pirates again. We'll save beforehand, just in case something goes wrong with the saving system. Can we finally catch out this pirate leader this time? Eels of Contempt's captain contacts you. You can hear notes of disdain and mockery in his voice. Playtime is over, and he's sure he's going to come out on top. After the rogue trader's death, the Von Valencia's protectorate will become his playground, where he'll claim plenty of booty before someone dares to hunt him again. The bridge officers report the Elusive Contempt is preparing for battle. It's time for the Elusive Contempt to pay for its insolence to battle. It's actually preparing for battle this time, not just jumping. That's good. Because I'm assuming we can take them without much difficulty. I just need them to not run before we have the chance.
Order to the crew. Deliver me victory.
Yeah, Elusive Contempt is part of the turn order. I've got 380 health, which is significant. Big ship. That's taking up 8 squares. I'm assuming that means they've got good shields and good armor as well, equivalent to the size of the ship. Well, goodbye to whichever ship of mine that was. Okay. They're able to send out 2 sets of interceptors? Huh. Yeah, your shields are a lot. Okay, let's start out by giving a weak spot to you. The front. Okay, I can work with that. It's thinking that's going to be targeting the side. There we go, that's targeting the front.
Fire the lance batteries! This one's going down.
Okay. The shields are nearly down. If I turned, I could then hit here. I mean, that did some damage. I'm tempted to use Imperium Storm. I think I shall. Now, is there any way I can bring this into play? I can shoot this guy with it. Yeah, I think that's probably the best I can pull off there. Before I move, let's send out... No, don't move. Before I move, we'll send out... From here. Thank you.
Torpedoes!
Those are not torpedoes. I know you're a little confused. Those are fighters.
Of course. Lead the hull strewn across the stars.
Let's do a warp wave on you. I could use it on you. Let's try taking out some of these smaller ships. Cool, you're facing the wrong way. That's ideal. Yeah.
Onward.
Then we'll go here. So we're kind of away from most of them. And hopefully you can't easily chase us down. Yeah, something like that. Let's have you shoot here. Again, their weakness is the front. That's claiming that's not attacking the front. Okay, if I put you there, that's attacking the front. And if I'm lucky, you'll be blocking their path and they won't be able to continue forward. Because it'd be funny. Haha! Waiting to see if the elusive contempt basically skips their turn. Oh, we are taking damage. A couple of powerful hits, but yes, the elusive contempt skipped their turn because of those fighters in the way. Fantastic. Unfortunately, I have no means to really get in front of them again to get more shots off. Let's take a couple of shots on you, since you're here.
Fire right now!
Not quite a kill yet.
Fire the launch batteries!
Oh, come on. If I strafed, I would be within range to shoot them with these guns onto their side. They still have max shields there, which doesn't fill me with a ton of happiness. And if I shifted, then I don't know if I would still be in a position to turn around and get you with my main gun. I think I'm going to try it. I think it'll probably be fine. So we'll shift there. The ionic blast should take out shields better. Which I think is probably the right call.
Another salvo!
The enemy shield is down. Show no mercy. Unleash a counterattack.
Perfect.
Set the course. Bleed them! Unleash!
And then attack again. I think that's about as good as we're gonna do. Oh, I still need to move forward. I guess go there. And I really should have, at some point, gotten shield options to improve our shields. We do have this restart shields that I should look into at some point if we start taking too much damage. I don't like that the side with my lowest shields is the side facing him. That's probably not great. But also, I don't think he'll have a lot of guns that can fire behind him. Hopefully. Let's see about putting you here. Because he has no shields there, and that's his weak side. You think you're attacking the back of the ship from here? I strongly disagree. I very strongly disagree. What? Okay. Wait, you can't attack him. Why? Target is too far. No? Not sure what all went wrong there. But the game seemed to be thinking I was trying to attack the back of the ship and didn't have room to. Which is just not how that works. Alright, we are taking very bad amounts of damage.
Flesh and marrow!
Yeah. Not sure if we're going to win this one. Not really sure what I've done wrong. Such that we...
This world of plasteel and iron is falling into oblivion.
Yeah. But maybe hold off on this mission for a while. Because our ship is apparently not leveled up enough for this. Yeah, we're at 9 hit points left. And they've gotten their shields fully back. Stored at the start of the flagship's next turn, rewriting the power from the shield reduces our speed by 3 and firing range by 2 for its next turn. Okay. Let's take out your shields. At least some. That did basically nothing.
Fire the last batteries.
I'm not going to be able to get this gun on him. On the other hand, maybe I could. If I did... I was going to say swing run, but I guess not. We can use this. Get a couple more strikes out there. Now that's still not going to do it. But if I shifted... If I shifted, then did the swing run, maybe I'd be in a position where I could get my main gun. But it's probably not going to do enough. That I healed somehow. I was down to 9 health. What ability healed me? I'd love to get this gun on someone as well. If I did curve around instead, so we don't shift. I would be able to get my primary gun on some of them. But I would be directly in front of them, which is not ideal. Although, if I was over here, then they would be on the left side of my ship. No. I'd be facing that way. No. So, let's give it a shot regardless. So if I went here, are you within that arc? You are. So let's take a shot on you as we're passing by. That did basically nothing.
Another salvo!
Better. Yes, there's no way I'm getting pointed back at them. If I could go here and then shoot you.
Lead them!
Still not a kill. Let's drop you over there to help out with this fight. And I think I will jump forward. To get farther away from that fight. And let's restart our shields. I think that's the best we're going to pull off here. Now, are you allowed to shoot them? Yes. Now you're close enough, even though neither of you have moved. Well, no, you can attack them. But yeah, if I put you here... No, you're still too far away to shoot them. What does that even mean? Now you can shoot them. I think for some reason it's trying to target the back of the ship. Which doesn't make any sense to me. But it forces us to be targeting... Well, now it is showing that it's targeting the side. But we're not going to get through those shields. Might be better to focus on some of these other ships whose shields are farther down. Because we need to take out some of these side ships, if possible. Well, that was that. You... Yeah, 117, that's just not going to happen. Could possibly take out them or these guys. They're the bigger threat to my main ship. So let's head down here. See if we can take you out. Oh, did not need that kind of damage on my ship. I think this is where we die.
We are vulnerable, but not our aid.
Yep, we have no shields on that side. There it is. I think this is our first loss of a space battle. And I think our ship just isn't strong enough to handle them. Not sure if we could do anything significantly different to have a major difference in how that battle played out. They just do way more damage and have way more armor than we do. Oh, are you worried that the load is failing again? Yeah. Yeah. Not liking this slow load. Not sure what to do if the game is stuck in every other load. I have to clear the cache and try again. But it's definitely looking like it. I'll let it get to 100. Not gonna assume it's a fail yet. But yeah, if clearing the cache and verifying all files through Steam, which took, I don't know, 10-15 minutes, if that's required between every load now because of something bugged in the game, that probably kills this series. And it's looking very similar to the 100% getting stuck. And I don't know what would have changed with the game. Because it's worked all along until just suddenly now we're stuck in a mode where it doesn't want to load. Yep, we're stuck at 100%. Seeing some people saying click spam. No, that doesn't seem to be working. So we're going to have to kill this, which means I'm going to do the fight again. But people are saying you don't have to verify the files. It's just clearing the cache. So give me a quick moment. This is rather annoying. And I did see someone say that it seems to be tied to the Lex Imperialis DLC, where having 3 ships in a space battle causes it to freak out. Don't know how accurate that is, but that someone on Reddit says so. Alright, so I'm inclined to ignore that space battle for a while. So we'll load our quick save beforehand, because I just don't think I'm in a position where I can do any major differences in that fight and win. I just think I need to level up my ship more. And I'm assuming we have a rumor here that we can come take care of at a later point. So you guys have fun plundering my territory. I don't really feel like going all the way up there from here. So let's just head down here. Spoils of Prudence. Do we have a specific location to check out for you? Spoils of Prudence. Curiosity Merchant mentioned an explorer tech priest he had known but lost contact with, who owned a cyber beast equipped with an unusual protocol in the system's speculo. So here. Alright, let's travel down there and then over. Probably here. Auger's Anomaly, Abandoned Camp. Yeah, those are already explored. It's got to be here. Okay, so we have already explored the Auger's Anomaly. Let's explore the Abandoned Camp. Oh, it's just this. Fortification protocol for a Servo Skull Swarm, which we don't have. Gives it some bonuses. Alright. Ship's augers have detected an explorator base set up in the middle of the jungle. Enforcers sent to scout the area have returned and are reporting that the camp was completely deserted. The only tech priest they encountered was found dead on the edge of a strange abyss that had split the planet's surface. Judging by the notes he left behind at the camp, he had pushed all his companions into the abyss, one after another, and remained forever motionless at the brink, waiting for tidings. As the tech priest fell into a deathly trance, his servo skulls guarded him until the end, but could not save their master from dehydration. Okay, so he went crazy. Oh well, we got the item in question. That's the Eye of the Magnetic Storm, which I'm sure we still don't have the augers we need to explore it. So Let's head back to here, and then we can jump down to these systems. It's interesting that there isn't a quick way to get between these. We're gonna have to go up and around. Feels like those should be connected, but they're not. We took some damage. Clan servicing the void ship's Ray petitioned Lord Captain for aid. Compartments were becoming overrun with fungal corruption. Yep. So before we get into another space battle, we'll want to heal ourselves up, which I suppose we can do just right now. We do have a bunch of scrap. Probably can increase our hull again. 860? Maybe not. Maybe. We'd have to downgrade our RAM a bunch. Okay, if we get rid of our RAM entirely, we can upgrade our hull to be even better. And then 860 again for the next level. Huh. Oh, no, we've already achieved maximum level. Okay. So our hull is as strong as it can be. We really need to boost our shields even better. Based on that last fight. Do we have any better shields? 70 points, 95, 80, 80. No, 120. I mean, we could get something that's 95, but doubled against blast attacks. I don't know what counts as blast attacks. Okay. So this is Unholy Plunder. In an attempt to purchase her pardon, the heretic and pirate Riza gave the rogue trader the coordinates of one of her caches containing her ill-gotten gains. The Lord Captain had best requisition the plundered goods before other pirates discover them. Right, I remember that. When she tried to buy off her safety and we just killed her anyway. Probably you. Probably a trap. Could be. It's not super clear just looking at these, what we have explored and what we haven't. Like, have I been to this drifting void ship? I have no idea. Even following the coordinates given by Riza, you barely managed to find the carefully hidden cache. A dilapidated statue of the Emperor stands among the ruins of a long-dead colony. At its base is a disguised passage to the cache. A cargo of sacred relics of the Imperium is found inside. Let's confiscate the cargo and leave the planet. So just 2 sets of holy gifts. And a Cape of Reckoning. It is impossible to tell to whom the relics belonged before they were stolen by the pirates. Now these relics are yours. Among the loot, you find a cloak adorned with crimson lining, apparently once belonging to a member of the Adeptus Arbites. Requires dogmatic votary. Easy. Every time an enemy hits the wearer, or the wearer gains a plus 5% bonus to ranged attack damage against that enemy. Against demons or xenos, this bonus is multiplied by the wearer's dogmatic rank. That's not bad. Only really helps with ranged attackers who are getting hit often, which is not really anyone. Our ranged attackers don't often get hit. Proctor Anthar examines the cloak with great reverence and reveals that it belonged to Arbitrator Vir, one of the most esteemed servants of the Lex Imperialis. Solomon adds that he knows of Vir as he served on Port Wander, where the Proctor himself is from. This unusual posthumous encounter fills Solomon with an almost religious enthusiasm. Well, I'm fine with giving you the cloak, Solomon. Since you're currently not wearing one, you can wear his cloak. Looks nice. I approve. And let's head back out. And it wasn't a trap. Oversized asteroid. Coursers from different decks of the Von Valentius vessel report a terrifying sight. The skin of some crew members has become translucent. Yep, we read that one as well. Oh, I didn't read what mission this was. But you're the thing that's not explored yet, so let's explore you. The deepest tunnels. The gigantic asteroid surface is densely sown with craters and pits leading into deep caves. Augurs indicate the asteroid consists of layers characterized by strange heterogeneity. There's a word I don't know. There is a high probability of finding valuable resources inside the stone. They can be extracted by sending an exploration team deep into the tangled tunnels. Send an exploration team equipped with drilling apparatus to the asteroid, or the Lord Captain decides that the potential reward is not worth the team's labors and gives the orders to leave the asteroid belt. No, definitely try and extract what you can find. With the help of the massive drill, the exploration team penetrates into the cavernous depths. The squad reports that their auspex have detected meager reserves of a substance used in the synthesis of plasteel in the rock. Their excavation will take time and a significant effort. Oh yay, plasteel. So important. Order the squad to ignore these paltry deposits and move on. Demolition 100%. Plasteel is an important resource. An opportunity to acquire some should not be disregarded. I mean, we get the 100% chance, so we're probably going to do that. Exploring these caves no longer seems like a good idea, and the Lord Captain commands the squad to return to the void ship. Might as well go for the plasteel. The equipment struggles with the unexpected hardness of the rock, but after 3 watches, the squad manages to set up enough mobile extractiums to gather the coveted material. We gained 3 plasteel. Doesn't say we actually lost extractiums. The noise and vibrations caused by the instruments have disturbed strange currents inside the asteroids. A transparent viscous substance streams down from the porous walls of the cavern and slowly filling the caves. The squad's auspexes raise the alarm. A prolonged stay in these tunnels will undoubtedly result in the toxic liquid destroying the gear and equipment. Despite this, the explorers suggest blocking the livelier streams in order to leave them with enough time to fill several canisters of the strange substance. Later, the Magi alchemists will no doubt be able to synthesize many useful chemicals from it. We could use agility. There's not enough data on the substance. The rogue trader orders the team to circumvent the toxin-filled tunnels to avoid risking their health and equipment. Awareness 100%. There's no need for haste. The explorers are to gather as much of the material as possible and transfer the find to the Magi alchemists for further processing. Or exploring these caves no longer seems a good idea. We'll use the 100%. No need for haste. Gather as much of the material as possible and transfer the find to the Magi alchemists for further processing. Long hours are spent carefully preparing for the collection of the materials and mapping the caves in this part of the asteroid. Carefully observing the flows of strange liquids, the squad succeeds in gathering several canisters of the substance while preventing any floods. While some soldiers return to carry the prize back to the surface, the rest continue moving towards the asteroid's heart. We gained chemicals and some experience. The explorers eventually reached the dry, surprisingly large caverns. A minute of respite is interrupted by a terrified scream. The squad is under attack. The tunnel's arches collapse, turning into nightmarish monsters resembling both worms and spiders. The beasts rush forward, yearning to tear apart the intruders, who disturb their rest. Ballistic skill, engage the monsters, or agility. Order the squad to run. We will engage the monsters. The gigantic horrors attack relentlessly, their powerful mandibles turning soldiers' bodies into bloody paste, but nothing can withstand the purifying light of flamers. Intrigued by the encounter with new xenoforms, the explorers notice that their tough carapace concealed meat, both extraordinary and nutritious, and surprisingly tasty. Without a doubt, future hunts of these creatures could feed a significant number of people, gain provisions and experience. The endless caverns eventually lead the explorers to the very center of the asteroid, where they are met with a yawning cavity of unimaginable size. The giant rock turns out to be housing the curved, shapeless buildings of an unknown xenorace. Fragile, built as if out of sand, an intriguing find awaits the squad in the long-dead city. Uncountable quantities of ugly totems made from crystal phlogiston are built into the walls of the most twisted buildings. Order the collection of the xenos totems. Phlogiston is too valuable to leave it here. Reasonable choice. It's only one phlogiston. Still, that's something. Phlogiston is tainted by xenofilth and must be destroyed alongside the city. Or the city remained untouched for eons, let it remain so. No. We're a rogue trader. We will harvest the resources. Preserving xeno remains doesn't particularly matter. One could argue it should be burned, but it's phlogiston. It'll get destroyed in the processing of whatever we're going to use the phlogiston to turn it into. With each crystal effortlessly removed from the dilapidated sand walls, entire blocks of the city collapse. It does not take long for the cavity inside the asteroid to fill with thick, dusty fog. Further recovery of the phlogiston from the crumbling walls, from the crumbling ruins, will take more time. Okay. And apparently that isn't phlogiston that we could actually harvest, because there's no extractium option. That's another rumor resolved. So then we'll want to head over here for a rare find. So 2 jumps. Yeah. Discovered the smaller vats in Engine Hall 5, which should have been filled with wastewater, instead contain a liquid that looks like blood. Cool. Just normal warp things. We'll send out more holy gifts so that they can fight the invasion. Demonic eyes materialized and began slithering on the walls. That's fine. And you were saying that Foulstone needs us. Okay. Where was Foulstone? Was that here? Here. Okay, we'll be there soon. A rare find. Let's look at our quests. Prodigious has reported that a pirate voxcast was intercepted recently. Apparently one of the pirates in the Cradle of Kepri holds something quite valuable. Or one of the planets, not one of the pirates. Though if we do have a space battle, we need to save beforehand. I think that's already explored. Both say that they're already explored. Alright, I don't know which one we're going to then. No, that's just an extractium. You're not telling me what you are. So I'm not certain that's where I'm supposed to go. It's just a landing place. This is a distress signal. Pirate voxcast was intercepted recently. One of the planets holds something quite valuable. We don't know which. So I guess we go down to both planets and see what we can find, because neither one is telling us that's where we're going. We've been here, I think. And if so, we've already explored it fully. So I think this is the one where we found... Yeah. Like xeno turrets and whatnot, and had a big battle here. They might just be reusing the map, but I'm guessing not. I'm thinking this is the location we've already been.
It's about time.
So let's try the other one. And hope that's what we're actually looking for. On the Rocky World. Would be nicer if there was something here clearly pointing out where our quest was telling us to go. Ah, smuggler hideout. That sounds more promising. Once this great vessel was filled with the hum of servomotors and the thrill of sacred electrics, but the machine spirits have forsaken this place. Ow. Surprise, you ugly bastard. Didn't expect this turn of events, did you? Thought you could just waltz in here. You're not dead yet, just watch your back. Oh. I was hearing static, but I didn't realize they were actually words. For the source.
Brace yourself, Abelard.
Okay, clearly that was not the right call. Let's do a quick reload. There was a timer counting down, and I thought clicking on the action location was the right call. But it's not. So there must have been something else in there that I wasn't figuring out. But also I was spending too long reading rather than actually interacting with the danger. So yeah, athletics here is not what we were aiming for. Well, Abelard's in the middle of it. The rest of us aren't. Oh, never mind. So we've got a generator here that was sending the sparking power around.
My success was inevitable.
Oh, you did not disarm. Not sure what we could have done there. There were electricity all around, and we couldn't deal with the bombs fast enough. So is it just we have no choice, we're going to go in with a lot of injuries? That seems kind of awful.
Ready for data input.
Alright, let's start healing people.
Flesh is weak.
Who else has Medicae?
Stand in recognition.
You heal yourself, I suppose.
Almost. Thank you.
You are authorized.
Alright, heal us again.
Shutdown is premature.
Thank you.
Abelard, you also have Medicae, don't you?
No further.
Yes. So heal yourself.
The healing is much appreciated.
I align my path with yours.
We'll have you work on Ulfar. And then Pascal,
The lazy handle sacred technology breaks my heart.
you need more medkits.
My cardiovascular augmentation can withstand much more than high blood pressure.
Heal yourself.
Integrity factor increased.
There we go. And then skin patches to heal
Flesh is
these injuries.
I can see bright colors again.
Although we are running low on skin patches, which is a shame because of how useful they are.
System shutdown is premature.
And another skin patch on Earliet. There we go. Again, not sure what we were supposed to do there, but we are now fully healed. Because yeah, running through that whole thing seems like it would have been the wrong call. Maybe we could have
Speak, Elantark.
taken shots at this. That might have been the right call.
I am not your xenos pet, monkey.
Yeah, that was probably the call. Okay. So we can go down this way. We could blow this up. Or we could head down this way. Usually things that require checks are not the primary route intended.
Kemorak.
Did you fail? Come on.
Too hard for a simple monkey.
That looks like that's going to go multiple paths. So let's try it
Compared to naval
down
service,
here.
that was barely a challenge.
A gray, unsightly vine winds through the surviving remnants of the cage, almost merging with the cold stone of the depot. Each tendril of the ragged plant is topped with a single leaf, shriveled but still alive. You've heard the stories about the unfortunate souls who were careless enough to get too close to the brain leaf. Its fleshy fronds, each with a semblance of individual consciousness, merged with the nervous systems of its victims, turning them into mindless carrier puppets. How strange. This ivy colored its surroundings in a caustic green, just like a predator singles out its prey before pouncing. Never before have I seen a plant able to cast its own color. Burn the plant. We're not going to reach out and touch something that we know merges with the nervous systems of those who get too close. Burn it. Simple way to deal with it. Makes sense. Doesn't look like we're able to get anywhere else from here. So let's head back up. Right? No. Yeah, so we'll head back up.
Nothing's impossible for this old officer.
Level up from that athletics test. Perfect. Alright, nothing that I've marked that I desperately want. Healing an ally, no. Cover efficiency seems fine. More damage if I'm in full cover. Could be great. More damage after doing damage. Could be good. Rebel and slaughter faster. Guaranteed crits are good. Okay. So of these, I think full cover giving us more damage is the thing we'll exploit the most out of those. Can't grab lore warp, which is a shame. I guess awareness is the only other one that we're working on. Abelard. Reckless Strike is something I think I use often enough. Athletics and Crows are the only two you're really working on. So... I'll give you a boost to Medicae. You use it on rare occasion. Let's see, for you, what's your lowest of the ones we care about? Awareness is actually your lowest. It's not particularly low, but it was your lowest. Could be good. Go with Uncanny Sight. So you're getting exploits on everyone, even those that are outside of your line of sight. And then the skills you are working on, Logic, Tech Use, Medicae, and Lore Xenos. Medicae is your lowest. Not sure how often that shows up as skill checks, so maybe it's not the one to focus on. But oh well. Sure. Can't boost your demolitions. Looks like awareness is the only other one you're working on. Who has Lore Xenos? Pascal, and you're not going to catch up to him. So, awareness. We'll just boost awareness in everyone. Seems fine. Probably athletics, because I'm sure we're doing athletics and corrals with you, same as Abelard. Sure. There we go. Nice and quick. Do I want to go this way? Do I want to go down this way? I think we'll go this way.
Follow my lead.
Strange improvised weapons are laid out on top of the crates. A rocket on a stick, an ugly black and white checkered gun, rusty axes, and brass knuckles. Fragment of orc energy weapon, capable of teleporting targets using warp energy. Roughly sawed off with a las cutter, cannot be repaired. Particularly strong orcs wear hulking, impenetrable armor, complete with a lethal weapon, not entirely dissimilar to a power claw. So is this...
What is that?
An orc world? Are we dealing with orcs here in some manner?
I sense something nearby.
Well, keep taking out all the traps.
A trivial task.
Self-propellant rail carriage that once delivered hive residents between stations.
I won't tolerate weakness.
Some goods here. Looks like just a rifle. Needle rifle. 15 to 23, which is pretty similar to my sniper rifle, but it does a bunch of toxin and more armor penetration. Less chance to hit. Higher range. Sure. I might as well grab that. I guess I can compare it to... Oh. Apparently it's something we had already found because it's stacked on somewhere else. Needle. Here. How does that compare to what Irliet's using? Oh, she can't use it. It's not like I'm going to actually use it, but there you go. If I ever feel a need to pull out my gun, I've got it.
A new challenge for me?
Shadow... these shadow auctions attract connoisseurs of forbidden artifacts. A lot this size could earn their owner a full shuttle load of treasures. Perforated Vox Thief. Hey, Doe. What are you messing with? The big guy said not to touch the goods. Bugger off, Ardley, and mind your own business. He has ears everywhere, you know. I said bugger off. I'm not going to rot in this hole until Pew gets his shit together. Throne take you, Doe. We've already lost 4 men because of this xeno shit. Put the stones down, mate. What'd you say we wet the old whistle instead? Doe, what are you doing? What are you doing, Doe? No, get away from me. Ah! Well, we've got some goods here, but we'll probably take damage trying to get them. There might be a way to turn off the electricity. Or not. Alright, you are going to self-destruct in a cutscene, so I can't interact with you. And blow up the random bandit. Sure. What? Elet's face betrays her surprise. When she speaks, there is sadness in her words. How could the spirit stones of my kin end up in such a god's forsaken place? Elendark, please allow me to watch over them. Tell me about the stones, Iliad. I could perform a 3-night ballad about the creation of the first stone, but alas, you do not have the luxury of eternity's favor. You should know what is important. The stones shield the spirits of the children of Asurion from the insatiable thirst of Silantresh after they die. They also enable the ancestors to share their wisdom, even sometimes lending us strength to fight our enemies. Alright, you may keep the stones, Iliad. Your words are like a breath of fresh air, Elendark. I will take good care of them. Strange. Somebody carefully polished shards of Eldari rifles and chainswords. There is a label with an individual number attached to every piece. So we've got Hive World armor, not terribly important. And this door does not open.
Victory awaits.
Okay, so we're back to here. All we have left is to go down this path. I guess let's check out this individual first. Fresh corpse of a in fancy attire, likely that of an adventurer rather than a smuggler.
We need to investigate.
We do need to investigate.
The machine god grants me insight.
Watch your steps. Oh, too hard
So
for
many
a simple
bombs.
monkey.
I plan to draw out your suffering. Make you beg for mercy the way my boys begged when they were dying from your bastard xeno stories.
We did nothing? You're blaming us for things that aren't our fault? So we could blow this up. Or we send someone here to disable that. I'm expecting he's going to set down another trap. Do I see another generator somewhere to be ready to shoot? No, I don't. Alright, Then we just move forward.
O Messiah, grant me the wisdom to perceive.
None are better at searching.
Do you not struggle to carry the burden of all your years, Grey Warrior? Will your hand not eventually betray you in combat?
I have
Youth
learned.
has vigor on its side, but age has knowledge. I'm sure even a long-lived xenos must understand the importance of experience.
Let's have you pull back and not step on things. Then go over here, deal with that demolition.
Trivial task.
Okay. For Imperium, only 94.
My house would be proud of me.
According to the labels, the container with insulated uniforms and snowshoes were to be delivered to an Astra Militarum quartermaster on the frozen world of Xenarag II. The spiky xeno chest looks like a chunk of solid rock with no cracks or fractures. One side is decorated with the maw of some hideous creature. Alright, let's see about grabbing these goods. Looks good. That's over there where we've already been. Let's continue around this way. We could have blasted our way in there, but I'm thinking we can get there other ways anyway. The grav bike has been gently washed clean of traces of soot and blood. The attached label reads, ordered by Master MLD. Lord Xenos? Let's give it a read.
This explorator is blessed with multifunctionality.
This contraption was assembled by a madman. The components do not match one another and only serve to confuse and confound you, but manage to spot the hidden trigger in time. It's a trap. Okay. Only 70% on that demolition. So we'll save first.
Operation successful.
Received a monofilament grenade. Flash doubles their MP and reduces the cost of non-attack abilities by 2 until the end of their turn. After the effect ends, the user suffers slowed and staggered for a round. And neurostimulant, gain 20 intelligence and willpower. After that, suffer minus 20 willpower until the end of combat. There are times I've considered using things like that for our main character, because a plus 20 willpower for one round would potentially just end the combat first. Wow, you have way too many minds around, whoever's running this. You managed to make out a Medusa's limp tentacles through the murky glass. The parasite has died regardless of what it was. Parasite has died regardless of what it was being kept here for. We could go athletics to get up here. Looks like a dead end, so we probably want to. Containers are stuffed to the brim with dry rations and corpse starch. Such quantity of provisions could feed a small detachment for months. Corpse starch, my favorite.
Was that supposed to be a challenge?
Probably not. Meteorite shard, still warm to the touch, barely perceptible electrical impulses ripple through the veins of metal, making it glow. It's still warm to the touch? Weird. Did things just enter and leave reality for a moment there? Because that's definitely weird. Priceless xeno weapons, jewelry, and peculiar artifacts. You have not noticed them here before. Or did having the meteorite suddenly make things appear that were hidden before? A subdued rumbling comes under the cover of an ancient cogitator, as if the machine spirits resent being awakened. After a few simple directions from the control panel, the vid screen flashes to life and starts blinking, waiting for input. Examine the log. The mechanism lazily grinds its gears, but grants you access to the requested information. Records tagged Big Pew. Day 21, third month of the cycle. Now that's what I call a good fortune. We hit the jackpot. This Xenos peddler, as Strixus, sure did show up in time. The competitors have been popping up like fleas on a half-dead rat. Merdkey has already brought a bunch of rare and exotic shit, and I have never been paid this much for a single order before. Life is good thanks to him or her, and is going to get even better. Day 6 of the 9th month of the cycle. It is time to end this. The thrones are coming in faster than I can spend them, but I'm starting to lose count of the people who died. Yesterday I walked past a dozen of my people and couldn't recognize 4. The customers are starting to ask why there's so much blood on the delivery crates. Damned if I believe that crooked-ass Xenos rat again. His deliveries are killing my guys, and there haven't even been any shootouts. Next time Merdkey comes here, he won't be leaving this place alive. I'll make sure of it. List of reports. Received 6 crates of tech upgrades, 4 blades of Tau firearms, 8 units of miscellaneous Drukhari devices. Sold 7 units of Eldari devices, 5 Orc weapons crates, 3 units of Tau artifacts, awaiting delivery. Received 8 crates of Orc armor, 12 blocks of Drukhari blades, 10 units of Eldari devices, sold 8 units of Drukhari devices, 3 blocks of Tau firearms, 15 units of devices belonging to an unknown race. Overhead costs, disposal of bodies, keeping an eye on dough. I've got a bad feeling this won't be the last of it. Received 24 units of unidentified artifacts. Let them stay unidentified and in my room. Sold 18 units of Drukhari, Eldari, and Orc firearms. Stolen? ? My own people are stealing from me now. What did that scoundrel Merdkey promise them? I'm going to find out, and there will be trouble. Vox recorded conversations. Jen, did you hear? They're going to bring in another batch of Xenotech. Life is going to be good. Idiot, we haven't dealt with the previous delivery. The clients don't wish to take risks after the accidents. Who cares? There are people with more money than common sense in every system. You know what matters? That's right. What matters is that we are making mountains of thrones. I've got a bad feeling about this. Jen, turn that frown upside down. You'll start looking like our wrinkly supplier lad if you don't. Or is she our supplier lass? Whatever. Hey, Doe, what are you messing with? The big guy said not to touch the goods. Bugger off, Arlie, and mind your own business. He has ears everywhere, you know. I said bugger off. I'm not going to rot in this hole until Pew gets his shit together. Don't take you, Doe. We've already lost 4 men because of this Xeno ship. Put the stones down, mate. What'd you say we wet the old whistle instead? Yeah, so this is what we've read before. What are you doing, Doe? No, get away from me. Ah! It's alive, alive! What? Why are you screaming? That thing, it's latched onto Lufa's face and she went mad. Don't be damned. Cut it off, cut it off! So that's probably the Medusa. Hey guys, what's wrong? We're missing the Drukhari crates, lad. But I was told to look after the... Sounds of several bursts of bolter fire. Run, run, run! What the... Oh, throne, take me! Ah! Okay, enter a different command. A relay clicks inside the dusty machine. Disconnect the power supply to the tracks. Yes, that would allow us to get to that guy who's in the electrical water, probably. Whirring of the obsolete cogitator's mechanism grows into a strained whine, and the crackling from the abandoned tracks abruptly stops. Walk away from the cogitator. Okay. Still don't really understand what was happening with this.
Centuries of service and practice.
I think we'll run back and grab the stuff we left behind.
Lay claim to the stars.
Oh yeah, some goods here that we left behind. Pascal, tech use, please. Thank you. Xenos race called the Tau employs self-aware machines they call drones. Judging by the marks on the hull, the specimen was gutted quite deftly. Yeah, so we haven't really interacted with the Tau in this game, but from what I understand, they were brought into the 40k universe to theoretically be the good guys. As a, you know, peace-loving, unity, happy race. Fairly recently in 40k lore. And then the general, you know, fandom of Warhammer 40k was unhappy that there was a peaceful, happy race in a system, world, whatever, where everyone's supposed to be some sort of bad. And so later revisions to the Tau end up making them have a lot more of a darker backstory of slavery and whatnot. It's my understanding, like mind controlling their people to keep them all happy. Something to that effect. Those are equipment, Hunter's Focus. The wearer gains plus 25 awareness and 20% critical damage on their single-shot attacks. Well, that sounds like exactly the thing for Irliet. You currently have plus 10 to ballistic skill. I think more awareness and tons more crit damage is better.
I won't tolerate weakness.
So we'll continue on here where we were. There's still the area that we
I sense
could get
something
into by
nearby.
blowing up that we haven't. Reserves of Promethium fueling. The local generators have almost run out. Let's grab some goods.
Hunt brothers, take heed.
Okay, we've read that one as well at the computer. So how do we deal with all of this nonsense? So we could walk over to here. Okay, that's demolition, so that'll be Irliet.
State your intention. Keep a sharp eye.
That's Xenos. We need Pascal for that one. This is a bit of a nightmare mess.
Watch your steps.
So you disarm this for me. And that one.
Irrefutable certainty.
Whoa. Watch where you're walking, man. Then Irliet.
Interrupted my thoughts.
Send you through here. Up to there. Can you walk around here? Because that's what I'm banking on at the moment. But I don't know if you're going to walk around that pillar. No, you walk through it. Perfect. That'll allow you to
My
disarm
success
here.
was inevitable.
Then Pascal.
Authorized.
Get that one.
This Explorator is blessed with multifunctionality.
And then that's Xenos as well.
Operation
There we go.
successful.
That was a bit of a nightmare. An exotic two-handed ranged weapon. Single shot. Range of 10. 30 to 40 damage. Whenever the wielder hits a target with the arc rifle, they also attack all targets within 2 cells of the main target. Enemies that are hit by this weapon suffer an irradiated effect that lasts for 3 turns, decreasing all health healing received by -50. Also prevents using reanimation protocol for 3 rounds. So it blasts the target and nearby targets. My suspicion is that hits allies. Require equipment, Victim's Sorrow. Whenever the wearer hits a target that is in cover with a ranged attack, this attack always scores a critical hit. You crit anyone in cover. That might be better than 20% critical damage. Because you target people in cover fairly often. Alright, you guys are all showing up red, which makes it feel like an unlootable, which makes me feel like you're enemies that we're going to have to fight. But we did already walk past here just fine. We've got lore warp on that. We do have a generator over here with cables running this way. So probably when we step forward, this is going to activate, and I'm going to need Irliet to blow that up. On the other hand, we could go over here, blow this up, and come around the side through here maybe, and take it out safer. Because almost certainly you've got your Vox that's going to tell us that we're doomed. My guess is there's a bunch of bombs here that awkwardly we can't see until we step into the area. So rather than intentionally walking into an obvious trap, let's go the long way around.
A new challenge for me?
and blow our way in here.
Did you hope to see an Azuriani fail?
No, I was hoping to see you succeed.
I have failed my kin.
You have an 85%. Can
Too
you
hard for
succeed
a
at some
simple
point?
monkey.
Thank you. Or not. Did you just spawn a bunch of Necrons on top of us?
Die, inhuman scum!
Exterminate on sight.
I think they just summoned a bunch of Necrons on top of me. That's not good. Well, we can't set ourselves up for battle. We've been ambushed. But there aren't explosives or electricity walls around us that'll just instantly kill us. So what's your deal? Mortal Commander Xenos. Tesla Carbine does crazy damage. Bayonet Axe does crazy damage. Selects a target. All other Necrons gain 30% armor penetration, 60% hit chance, and 90% damage while attacking the target. Immune to a bunch of effects. Reanimation protocol. That's what the rifle would have stopped. When the creature's wounds drop to 0, it falls prone and gains 30% of its maximum wounds as temporary wounds. On its next turn, the creature is reanimated with 50% of the wounds, but still has temporary wounds. The creature has no other allies with base wounds more than 0. This creature and its allies die. The creature restores 10% of its maximum wounds at the start of each turn. Also gains toughness armor bonus. With every Necron or weakened warrior's death, this creature gains +1 stack of death synergy, which grants +1 action point and plus 20% weapon damage. Stacks. At the end of its turn, the creature loses 1 stack. At the start of its turn, this immortal gains stacks of energy and integration equal to the number of Necron warriors allies left alive on the battlefield. And they are going to go ahead of most of us. Commander is next. Dysfunctional Scarabs. Alright. What to do here? I mean, probably the usual. We'll give voice of command
I am a navigator,
Ignatius.
not a servitor.
Revel in the light. Reveal the light, rather. Revel in the light. And then just give you a free turn.
Me? If you insist, Lord Captain.
Light ourselves on fire.
Too easy.
Keep ourselves on fire.
Suits my purpose.
Run and gun. Say here. Then melt both of you.
Nothing I can't do. You just a chance.
Not sure why you got a free turn. Though I'm sure if I had read the Scarab's abilities, I would know. No. Well, you might have already used whatever effect in question, so let's look at this Scarab. What do you have that says that restores a bunch of wounds to the target? I mean, it's got to be that you're around to restore a bunch of wounds. And you're not on fire, sadly, so I can't use Inflame. So that'll be the end of my free turn. I can hit all of them. It's not actually doing that much, though it should stun, in theory.
If I may.
It will take out one of them and the scarab.
Isn't this a job for the son of the sun?
And that's certainly something. Another scarab is moving around. For whatever reason. Give a free turn to Ignatius.
Your death in colors.
I'm inclined to go here and Melta again.
Not a problem for me. Opposing me was your biggest mistake.
Alright, you are still alive.
Already done. Nothing of value has been lost.
There you go. Could go here and maybe line up a shot on the two of you. No. Shame. I could get both of you from here. Oh, and that spot gets both of you. Perfect.
Never wavered in the face of adversity.
We'll take out both of you.
Opposing me was your biggest mistake.
Meanwhile, the scarab doesn't know what to do because it's supposed to be healing that guy. That killed that line. Okay, you guys can each be taken out. Well, you can be taken out, the weakened warrior, with just a basic attack. So we'll start there. It'll do some damage to you. Then I can finish you off.
Nothing I can't do.
No, didn't finish you off. I did the damage, but your protocols allowed you to survive.
You didn't stand
Which
a
isn't
chance.
cool. Okay, all we have left are weakened warriors and scarabs.
Suits my purposes. Opposing me was
That's
your
you
biggest
down.
mistake. Already done. You didn't stand a chance.
Can do a run and gun. Perfect. That'll give me one more attack.
Nothing of value has been lost.
There we go.
The xenos.
Submit and die.
No? No. I already won against you guys. Is the commander back, or did it just bring back everyone else besides him? Looks like it brought back all of the others besides the commander. Except for this empowered death mark. I think you're new. Creature gains 30% dodge and parry. Not ideal. Synaptic Disintegrator. I want that weapon. 37 to 56 damage, 45% armor penetration. 50% additional hit chance. Yes, please. The Immortal Commander is already dead. The death of this creature activates a special protocol granting plus 50% damage dealt and 10% armor penetration. Sure. Alright, so we can actually prepare for this battle. For what little help that is. Why am I... Oh, I'm overexerted because I got Voice of Command in the last battle. Which seems silly. This is a new fight. I guess we'll just pull back. Because I can't get into cover because the cover is too close to enemies. Irliet. I guess I'll put you in cover there, and then for our melee characters, part of me thinks I should keep them out of range because I want Cassia to be able to use her third eye. So, yeah. We'll pull you back, Pascal, because you'll be able to get in quickly enough anyway. Sure, something like that. Cassia. We can't do voice of command on... We can do voice command on Ignatius. Okay. Cool. Now that the fight's actually started, we do have the freedom to do that.
I am a navigator, not a servitor. Isn't this a job for the serfs?
So you light yourself on fire again. Orchestrate flames. Run and gun. Can you get to a spot where you can hit multiple enemies with this Melta? Maybe. I mean, it'd be a dangerous spot to go. Here would be smarter, but then you're kind of in the way of Cassia. Though she could move in front of you. But if we were there, we could melt through both of you. Which I think is probably the smart way to handle it. Yep, Scarab's gonna try healing up a couple of you. Man, these Scarabs are just super confused about what they're supposed to be doing. I could then move out of the way, so I'm not in Cassia's way. If we went, say, here. No, because we still need to be within line of sight for her to use her ability on us. But we could go probably here. She should be able to see us.
I shall not fear.
And that's a good line to hit a couple of enemies. Make sure I'm not hitting allies with this. I'm not. It's barely missing Ulfar and Ignatius. Lit a bunch of them on fire. That's pretty cool. We can make use of that. Okay. Just trying to find angles where I'm not accidentally lighting my own allies. High momentum, always good. And they teleported off again when they got destroyed. I'm hoping
I'll show you why navigators are feared.
this isn't a permanent thing until I figure out how to stop them from respawning. 'Cause I'm not seeing anything obvious to interact with. I'm hoping once we kill them this time, they stay dead. Okay. No guarantee this will kill you. I could use Inflame first.
Already done.
Try to die with grace, at least.
Then we Inflame you, which is a kill.
Opposing me was your biggest.
Perfect. Then we kill you. No, because you are able to reduce the damage you take.
Not a problem for me.
There you go. Let's move. If we were here, we can hit all three of them, which sounds fantastic. Oh, and Ulfar. That's less ideal. I was hoping to get an angle where I'm hitting all of them, but not Ulfar. So I'm suspecting if I went here... Oh, never mind. That does it.
Nothing I can't do.
Alright, you're all dead. Summoning any more? No? Alright, good stuff. So, whoever arranged this trap for the Eldar, who sold them a bunch of goods, arranged for Necrons to attack, which is crazy. I am excited for the next DLC, which is Necrons, but disappointed I will probably have beat the game by then. Implants resembling the limbs of an enormous insect are stacked inside of an airtight container. A note taped to the lid says, Ramgol Rakmol, screw it. Push this on some not very bright customer. It is imperative that we rid this world of xenotech, which defies the teachings of the machine god and the very essence of his laws. With your permission, my servitor will later cleanse this place. Sure, Pascal. Uncanny sphere. The pictograms are embossed on a perfectly smooth surface, but when you try to read them, your head begins to spin and the symbols inexplicably change their positions right before your eyes. Fun. Only a 65% to check out this Lure Xenos, obviously Necron device.
Error. Making adjustments.
Nah, I want to pass that. Necrons are cool. I don't want to lose out on cool lore regarding them. Try again.
My success is an irrefutable certainty.
The artifact has exhausted its power and will remain dormant until the sphere is returned to its core and collects enough energy. Okay, so the sphere must have popped out of there after we defeated them or something. So theoretically we could have pushed it back in and fought them multiple times. Oh, and can we not get it? No, we can get over to that generator from here. Cool. Let's check out these goods first. Machine right set, fine. Logic 97. Thinking this might be what's running this whole place. Because I was guessing, given everyone's dead here and we don't know how long they have been, well, they're not decomposed. I was assuming that whoever set up the traps is probably dead. But maybe not.
This explorator is blessed with multifunctionality.
You are so slow to talk. Fresh delivery from Merdkey, Aldari weapons, 5 containers, Orc rubbish, 10 containers, Drukhari armor, cha-ching baby, 3 units, unidentified Xeno shit. What, again? I asked them not to bring this to us anymore. Question mark units. So some sort of Xenos they don't recognize, and since they haven't commented on Necrons yet, wondering if that might be the unidentified Xeno stuff. Though you would think they would be able to recognize it. Necrons are known well enough. Big Pew lost what little remained of his mind since Merdkey brought the latest Xenotech haul. I understand that in our business, every man looks after himself, but Merdkey doesn't even blink an eye when his booby traps mangle our fellows. We spent 3 days mopping up blood, and he just kept dragging more rubbish into his cabin, nursing that vile chunk of stellar metal, and glaring at everyone like a wild beast. Throne be my witness. I will personally cut the Strixus down with a chainsword if he brings us another dangerous artifact. We're honest gold traders, not heretics. I mean, I suspect to the Xenos there's not a lot of difference.
Curse the day I fully my home with you. Die from your own ways, you Xenos filth.
We're not Xenos filth, at least most of us.
The machine god grants me insight.
Speak,
Iliad,
Elanta.
can you step forward and
Better at searching.
take a shot at this thing?
That is beneath me.
Okay, get where you have line of sight. Come on. I don't trust that nothing's going to activate here, so I want this dead.
You cannot force me, Alantak.
I'm not trying to force you, I'm just wanting you to blow up this generator. Thank you. Now I feel a lot better. We've got lore warp here.
Excellence matters.
Multi pages here contain knowledge of heretical sorcery. Most are crude forgeries, but not all. Gold Xeno idol. Light flickers on a metallic figurine, one depicting a mysterious alien amphibian. Okay, you didn't finish. I think I clicked off a bit too fast. We'll snake back this way to see what we missed behind.
You see these corpses? These fine lads and lasses paid the price for my greed. And for your lives. We'll both be receiving the Emperor's punishment, and you can be certain.
Yeah, you guys just blow yourselves up. It's fine. Not sure how you got them to stand up and walk around, because that seems heretical.
As it should be.
Table strewn with expertly forged seals, Adeptus Administratum forms, Astra Militarum, entry passes, and even an inquisitorial rosette. Wow. You forged an inquisitorial rosette? That's not easy. Alright, lore warp. What's the deal? This ancient tome seeps with decay and purple rot. Do not approach it. Okay.
None shall stand in my way.
Scrolls with broken seals of the Ordo Xenos describe the process of studying Eldari test subjects. And this statue looks... I mean, it's got a big eye on it, which is usually Inquisition. Was this once a Ordo Xenos stronghold that was taken over by cold traders? Somehow?
I'll lay claim to the stars.
I mean, Cassia says to not touch this, but it's the last thing for us to do here, I think. Okay, I thought the map might continue farther behind it, but it seems not. Okay, we are giving it another perusal. The weighty tome is bound in the skin of a human face, laced with a cord woven from tendons. The sinister crimson symbol dominates the cover, but it is difficult for you to make out. The details elude your scrutiny, and the strokes twist and shift, furthering the confusion. Open the tome or burn the suspicious artifact? Probably we should burn it. But in every game, I'm so tempted by knowledge. Like, okay, let's find out what it is first, and then we can decide if we need to burn it afterwards. But any book that's putting off warp energies and made using a human face and tendons probably shouldn't be read. I'm gonna trust Cassia and go against my natural instinct to try and read and learn, and we're just gonna burn it. Being the dogmatic paragon that I am, the fiery tongues reluctantly lap away the taint of heresy from the book, their warm colors fading as they engulf the tome. The bloody symbol on the cover melts, and you hear a shriek so loud that the pain pierces your eardrums. The final flash reveals the heretical sigil in full, but only a moment later, you cannot recall what it looked like. Okay, we burned the heretical tome. And I guess that's that.
Victory awaits.
Probably was something cool that we could have gotten from that. And yeah, no one left alive here that we can see to interact with. So this whole facility was automated to kill any intruders. And there's still no further progress up here. Okay. I think we are done with this area. Any more rumors? Not really. So we've got Eye of the Magnetic Storm that we still can't take care of. That's one of our main quests. That's where the pirates are. End of the Elusive Legend? Right? The Elusive Contempt, yeah. So that's where their fight was that we got wrecked in. So we've got rumors up here for the Path of Revulsion. We could slowly make our way up there, but it's very much out of the way. That's the ritual for Cassia. This is the quest for Heinrichs. We need to go to Foulstone, not Furabundus. Furabundus is Footfall. Foulstone, which is where? That's Dargonus. Foulstone was nearby. Here. So let's travel to Foulstone for that. Right. Prophet of the Blessed Fire. We always just put them under surveillance. Which I still think is the right call. Rather than killing people, it just sort of fades out after we get out of the warp. And everything is fine. Alright, Foulstone, what do you got going on? Armed guests. A troop of well-armed people has landed in the colony and started plundering, acting like they are in charge. Reports suggest that these pirating cutthroats are privateers, the likes of whom flock towards the banner of Caligos Winterscale, seeking his favor. We could enter the battle. We could buy the loyalty of Winterscale's people. Or we could order planetary wardens to slay Winterscale's lackeys. Is this going to cost me 5 security? Or is this just available because we have 5 security? I think if it costs, it usually has the arrows. I think this is just available because of the security. I hope. So because our security is high enough, we can just have the security on the planet just take care of this. Which makes it odd that we needed to come back to help out. Why are there a bunch of negatives here? I don't know. Order the planetary wardens to slay the Winterscale lackeys. The wardens drench the outsiders in their own blood and chase them away. Yeah, and it didn't cost us security. Perfect. Oh, those are the costs that are coming from everything we've done here. So currently we've spent 8 phlogiston on this planet. Wow. Any projects we can do while we're here? We could buy up to our last rank in some of these. Holy ammunition, we need more Drusians. Sacred Comet. So whichever one of these do we do blocks the others of the two. And we would need to have orbital shipyard built somewhere. We don't know where in our protectorate, and 4 weapons. So which would I want of these? Holy Defenders. The monasteries damaged by the Crucible will be rebuilt. While the cathedral is being erected from the ruins, the noble monks will scour the archives for any evidence of familiar connection between St. Cognatius and the Von Valentius dynasty. And upon succeeding, we get Arbitrator Solomon Veer's armor. And the wearer hits a human enemy. That enemy gains a stack of perplexed effect for 2 rounds. Plus some profit factor and complacency throughout. Reliquary. The monastery, having been damaged by the launch of the Crucible, will be transferred aboard the Von Valentius dynasty. Von Valentius flagship as a great reliquary and shelter for the Order of the Hammer. So we just take them on board our ship. Gives us a power hammer. All collisions caused by the thunder hammers pushing attacks deal 300% more damage. Neat. Targets hit by the thunder hammer must pass an agility resistance test with +10 bonus or fall prone. Interesting. Sacred Comet. Holy remains of the monastery, which was damaged by the launch of the Crucible, will be transferred to Foulstone's moon. Equipped with drives, the weaponized moon will leave orbit and set out on a crusade as a temple comet. Gain security everywhere. All non-Xenos allies gain +5 bonus to all their characteristics and skills. I mean, that's feeling very tempting. We need more weapons. We would need orbital shipyards somewhere. Wish it would tell me where this is. Because it just means somewhere in our protectorate. So on one of the planets we can build an orbital shipyard, but we don't know which one. But that one does seem the most useful of the abilities to buy up. Jane has finished something. You have orbital shipyards somewhere. Well, we could have you work on this. Taking an interest in unique substances, provide resources for erecting a chapel. They will delve into the mysteries of chem synthesis, which can turn deadly toxins into base substances needed for life-saving Medicaid kits. That's cool. Okay, we could get chirurgeon medikits, which remove traumas. That's very good. We would have to regularly go and recollect them. Not sure what that means, but probably it means we have to fly by Janus on occasion. But yes, let's have you start on that. I don't see anything here about the orbital station. So I'm going to assume it's not Janus. Dargonus. I don't see anything about the orbital anything. I guess, was there anything on Dargonus I could do? We could do either of these. Holy Prophet I didn't like. Making use of corrupt practices of the Administratum. So basically we redirect the Imperial tithe to ourselves. Which I'm not thrilled by as a dogmatic follower of the God Emperor. Pleasing the tired, the Adeptus Administratum's vanity may be indulged through the construction of a floating palace filled with helpful serfs and exquisite pleasures. Modified by the bribe, the scribes will be especially attentive to the rogue trader's wishes. Yeah. Not thrilled by that either. And we can't do anything else. So on Vivos, costs a mechanism. We have 8. We give us plasteel, which is why I haven't bothered. Because mechanisms are rarer. Well, I don't know if that's what's needed. No, these are blocked by only one being able to be built. Blessed hydraulic installation of the Adeptus Mechanicus will crush the greedy bowels of the earth, freeing the priceless minerals within that the Imperium so desperately needs. Cost mechanism phlogiston to give us plasteel and adamantine. Adamantine's nice. We don't have a ton of it. It would use most of our mechanisms in phlogiston, though. And I'm not certain that that's a good trade of 5 of each of those for 12 and 6. Transinium's value is such that its open pit mining will be worth the thousands of lives lost to radiation exposure. Cost 6 people, which we have a lot, to give us 12 promethium, of which we also have a lot. Acquiring captives from the enemies of humanity for use in forced labor is a possible way to replenish the workforce. So gain a bunch of people at the cost of grabbing some xenos. Lowers our profit factor and security. Not thrilled. In the Expanse's darkest hours, convicts may take the martyr's shift and descend into the mines never to be resurfaced, thereby clearing their name. I'm not against that. We gain more dogmatic, gain more efficiency, gain a bunch of plasteel, and we gain all allies gain +5 willpower and 1 resolve. Definitely liking that one. Penal Battalion. Entire planetary regiment of martyr guardsmen. A gift from the rogue trader to the Koronus Expanse in its darkest hour. Cost promethium, provisions, people, and weapons. We don't have a ton of weapons, so that would be harsh. Gives security everywhere, which is great. And we gain plus 10% to critical hit chance with macro cannons, which is also good. I like both of those. And this is, none of these are the space orbital station, whatever it was that we were looking for. So it must be on Kiava Gamma, presumably. Must have Penal Battalion. Must have Penal Battalion. Must have Penal Battalion. Okay. So regardless, Penal Battalion is the one needed for our 5th rank. Let's do Purification by Death. And Penal Battalion. Because apparently we are quick enough. Fellowship of the Void. We need Xenos Intoxicant somewhere. Reputation with Drusians. Alright, Kiava Gamma. What is your deal? Motive Force is life. Lighting up the sky with a massive magnetic radiance, this formidable power complex will pour thousands of gigawatts of the blessed motive force on the planet's manufactorum. Uses a bit of promethium, chemicals, and phlogiston to give us Instability Detonator. This item grants Swear +5 bonus to tech use. Once per battle, can be used to immediately remove all bleeding, burning, and toxin effects from enemies in a 10-cell radius. These enemies receive 3 impact damage with 20% armor penetration. Wow, that is completely awful. Remove burning from all enemies nearby. Have them suddenly take 3 damage. Profit factor, explorative reputation, efficiency. All of that is great. Probably going to do that. Flawless Servitors. Servitor is superior to an ordinary worker in every way, being efficient, durable, and devoid of service irrelevant brain processes. Kiava Gamma will have the capacity to provide an entire protectorate with servants of flesh and metal. Once given appropriate amounts of human raw material, the new production line will be deployed at an ancient and venerated workshop decommissioned for preservation years ago by Lady Theodore's order. Costs us more of our mechanisms. Blocks Vigil of the Tech Guards. Gives us battle servitors. In ship encounters, the rogue trader squad is supported by friendly combat servitors. Profit factor, efficiency. Vigil of the Tech Guards. So we have to do one of these, and that probably decides what future... Orbital Shipyard, that's the one we were needing. We are pretty far from that. So Vigil of the Tech Guards, the Eptis Mechanicus, are concerned about the recent outbreak of heresy on Kiava Gamma. They offer to enter into a solemn alliance with House von Valentius. Under its terms, an ancient workshop preserved by Lady Theodore's order will become the site of Prioritas Scitarius, a factory which would produce the invincible Tech Guards. These unrelenting warriors, impeccable in their digital vows, will secure every Adeptus Mechanicus facility in the Protectorate. Security everywhere feels great. Costs weapons, which is rough. We get plus 10 tech use. That does not matter. This does feel better to me. Okay, if we went with Vigil of the Tech Guards, we would then be moving on to Inferno or Unwelcome Guest, Flawless Servitors, Inferno, or Armored Rage. So let's look at these to decide which path I want to go down. Magos Metallurgicus are proposing a massive tectonic plate detonation to awaken the planet's great volcanoes. Smelting workshops housed inside their flaming vents can produce plasteel of incredible purity. The earthquakes, tectonic instability, and ash clouds that will forever envelop the sky of Kamagama are a small price for such success. Not certain about that one. We gain an armored prow. The front-focused armor design concentrates the thickest adamantine armor plates in the ship's prow compartment, allowing the ship to break through heavy enemy fire during a relentless push. Plus 4 to the prow plating, the ram of the flagship causes internal fires, the number of fires dependent on the size of the target. Profit factor, plasteel, lowered security, probably not. Armored Rage, which comes with Flawless Servitors. Kamagama will be granted a sacred writ authorizing the production of war machines. Amid the solemn flickering of lumens, fierce machine spirits of battle tanks, armored transports, and artillery cannons will awaken, craving the blood of heretics and xenos. I like that. That comes from going down the Servitor line. And it'll give us a bunch more weapons. And a Titan Forged Lance Weapon. Long-range lance weapon dealing 84 to 98 damage to chosen enemy within a narrow firing arc. Okay. For unwelcome guests, this is the Skitari option. A mysterious explorator ship, the Hexalation, has landed on this world's surface. The tech priest graciously informed the authorities that they had taken control of nearby manufactorums in order to perform the rites of ship maintenance, and made servitors of the worker units deployed there. The servants of the Omnisci requested enormous quantities of priceless materials without saying a word as to the purpose of their visit or the details of their mission. They've expressed their gratitude for the assistance and vaguely promised a reward commensurate with the planetary authorities' contribution. We would get Eye of the Omnisci. This auger system is connected to the mighty cogitation blocks offered by the explorators as a gift to the rogue trader. Their computing power is so great that the augers can pick up even the slightest vulnerabilities in enemy defenses. Enemies suffer a -10 to their evasion. And some profit factor, efficiency, and mechanisms. I don't know. I like Armored Range. This one's alright. I don't really care for Inferno. Are these based upon which one I chose here? No. We just need to have accomplished one of them. Good. Then I'm thinking we go Flawless Servitors to Armored Rage and move on. Although I could do this as well. Our relationship with the Explorators is good. Sure. We'll start you. Ah, this is one that I can just do a bunch of things. So we'll start you. Then Armored Rage. That'll get us the Titan Forge Lance Weapon. Brand of the Motive Force. It is possible to utilize all of Kamagama's potential by covering its surface with a huge electu. The whole world will be wrapped in a grandiose potentia coil. Sounds really cool. Costs a bunch of stuff, gives us security and efficiency, which we don't really need here, I'm sure. Yeah. Orbital Shipyard, that's the one we needed for the other world we were looking at. Might have been Valstone. Orbital Shipyard will provide the Imperium's massive vessel with proper repair and produce new void ships. Costs a bunch of stuff, gives us profit factor and Imperial Navy relationship. I'm good with that. We no longer have the mechanisms to pull this one off. Tools of killing. Retrofitting mining equipment may be of interest to the pirates of the Expanse, it does not take a brilliant mind to turn a mining laser into a weapon. It costs even more mechanisms that we don't really have to give us some profit to help some pirates. Not really the direction I'm going. Sacred flame passing through the distillation plants and a multitude of filters, raw materials with high energy potential will be transformed into combustible promethium. Once the proper liturgies have been served, it will be employed as the Emperor's burning wrath. Cost promethium and chemicals gives us weapons. We've got tons of... We don't have tons of promethium. Never mind. We had tons of promethium. Chemicals, we've got some. To give us weapons, of which we now have a ton. I like the idea of this one, but not sure I want to spend that. Nah, go on. Dark experiments, sacred experiments with the wrecks of xenos ships will be conducted at the orbital shipyard. Probably not. That'll block mechanical trade. Mechanical trade, the Imperial Navy has sustained heavy losses. They are willing to provide valuable machinery in exchange for trained tech priests. I like that. We would get Memory of the Daring. 125 points of protection for each sector. This amount is doubled against enemy kinetic attacks. Okay, that I think is a shield. And I was wanting better shields. And more mechanisms, which I was needing. So let's grab you. Yeah, I don't care that it blocks dark experiments. I didn't want that one. Now that we have all those mechanisms, we're up to 26 mechanisms suddenly from where we used to have none. And we're now at 1 promethium when we used to have a lot more. Keva Gamma will become the main data repository of the Expanse. Thousands of scribes register cargo, and the lenses of watchful cogitators process myriads of documents. Costs people and mechanisms, gives us Eye of the Omnissiah, which is some sort of aspects. Profit factor and efficiency. Sounds great. What is required here? Holy ammunition done somewhere. Extractium ignifera somewhere. Or reputation with explorators. Now that we have the orbital shipyard, we can go back to Foulstone. And we have the option for Sacred Comet. We can't now because Promethium's too low. Did any of you have something that would give me Promethium? You're still working on your project. That gives people. This costs weapons, but that's no longer a problem. It's time for the Dargonis nobility to forge... forget their feuds and take up arms in defense of their native world. Costs 6 weapons. Gives us more security throughout, more people, and familial power armor. Really good armor, really great deflection, terrible dodge, and a bonus to strength. We'll grab that. Oh. Corruption has infiltrated Vibos 6, Lord Captain. The cultists of the Final Dawn have agitated the convicts into a full-blown uprising, promising them a chance at escape. The planet's cargo port and guard facility are now under siege. The cultists themselves have not joined the assault. They have scurried into the mines, deep into the tunnels that were infected with xenos corruption not too long ago. The security post that we set up in those mining drifts reported a skirmish and then went silent. When did the cultists head to that particular area? What is the current situation on the surface? I'd like to hear what my advisors have to say. Currently, we could spend 1 person. No, because we have 1 people, we're actually down to 13. We used to have a ton there. we would gain a trampled cult banner and lose efficiency. Trampled cult banner gives us enemies that are targeted by the wearer's psychic abilities must pass a willpower resistance test with a -15 penalty or suffer bleeding and blinded. Anytime I target someone with a psychic ability, they have a difficult willpower test? Well, now. I like that. Let the rebels know that if they do not stop the riot, I will bomb them into submission. We'll give them something to truly fear. I would lose Fiend of Vivos. All allies gain +10 coercion. Whenever an enemy enters a 5-cell radius zone around the rogue trader or their allies, this enemy must pass a willpower resistance test with a +5 bonus or become staggered for 1 turn. 2 or more allies are close enough to trigger this effect. The enemy must pass this resistance test for each of these allies. Wow. That's also great. We'll promise a pardon for those prisoners who would help quell the rebellion. Probably not that. The spared convicts of Vivos 6 will not waste the second chance they've been granted, even if it costs them their lives. They have made for a well-disciplined emergency cruise. The flagship suffers -40% ram damage less and gain 50% chance to reduce the damage of each internal fire by 1 round. Alright, why did the cultists head to that particular area? Unfortunately, we do not know the heretics' true objectives, but there is nary a doubt that they are pursuing a sinister and wicked goal and therefore must be stopped. What is the current situation on the surface? The overseers are trapped inside the guard facilities, and the convicts are now united by their common hatred for the dynasty and are obsessed with the tales of freedom. I'd like to hear what my advisors have to say. Heretics seek out those who are weak of spirit and entice them with promises of salvation, but such spineless lot lacks the resolve to fight and will drop their weapons should someone give them reason to fear. The purpose of many tactics in warfare is to sow terror in the enemy ranks, and I know some of these tactics well. Make them quiver at vetter, and those weaklings will forget all about their heinous intentions. Lord Captain, your resources and status allow you to make use of one of the most blunt and affordable tools of all mercenaries. These dogs of war will storm the warp itself for the right price. Provide the overseers with some hired backup, and you can consider this crisis resolved. Alright. So, stop the rioting immediately. Casualties are of no concern. Show my people how to instill fear. So it doesn't cost us anything now. We just gain Fiend of Vivos. Let the rebellion know that if they do not stop the riot, so that's what we saw before. Cost 2 complacency, gain Fiend. And call in the mercenaries, we get tempered by the quarries at the cost of a profit factor. After the admirable performance in the battles on Vivos 6, the mercenaries are eager to serve the rogue trader. Many among them are seasoned combatants who can man the voidship's cannons. All lance weapons deal plus 20% more damage. I mean, all lance weapons doing more damage. What's considered a lance weapon, I suppose? Type of voidship weapons generally mounted on the prow or the dorsal. It fires a powerful beam that damages all targets in its line of fire. Lance weapons are the most effective against armored targets, but struggle to land hits on quicker targets with high evasion. So that's probably that one weapon that we have that's a narrow firing long range weapon. So it would do more damage. I don't know. Making all of my enemies that I use psychic powers on have to do a willpower test against me, where my willpower's got to be way better than theirs. And if they fail, they get bleeding and blinded. That is really hard to resist. So yeah, while I do like some of these other ones, I'm going for the banner. Stop the riot immediately. Casualties are of no concern. Although it is equipment that I have to equip, and I don't know what I currently have in whatever slot that is. Versus something like Fiend of Vivos 6. Staggering enemies whenever they get within 5 cells of any of us. Feels pretty good as well. Same with this. 20% more damage just with that gun. Stop the riot immediately. Casualties are no concern. Those who were tempted by heresy shall perish. So we gained the trampled banner, cost us, or gained people. The colony security systems awakened. Its powerful air blowers pumping toxic gas out of the bowels of the planet and into the ventilation systems of the mining facilities. The rebellion was quashed in mere minutes. Thousands of convicts and overseers had suffocated. The leaders of the conspiracy, the cults of the Final Dawn, were confronted in the mines. They had surrounded a strange, dark xeno obelisk covered with glyphs, trying to awaken it from its slumber. The glyph patterns were similar to those that the mad convicts had drawn before. The monstrous construction contained enough energy to tear the planet apart. By heroically disrupting the cultist plans, the guards caused a malfunction within the terrible machine. Instead of exploding, the obelisk emitted a blistering heat wave, melting itself and turning those around it to ash. Vibo 6 has been saved. Okay, that's purification by death completed. Yeah, I still don't think mechanisms for plasteel, even though we have tons of both. Still don't feel like that's a great trade. What I need now is Promethium. This one, cost of 6 people, which isn't great, gives us Promethium. And this is just free, but costs us profit factor and security to give us a bunch of people. We've got tons of profit factor, we've got lots of security. I don't know about having Xenos working for us, if that's the best call, but we do need the people. So, yeah. That gave us the Promethium we needed for Kiava Gamma, I think. Man, there are so many events going on. Lord Captain, after the unsealing of Lady Theodore's secret workshop on Kiava Gamma, an epidemic of mysterious tech leprosy has broken out. Augments mutate into distorted forms, killing their hosts. Machines and even entire assembly halls break apart into fragments that devour each other, fusing into grotesque and insane forms. The Omega-18 Manufactorum, the epicenter of the epidemic, is cordoned off, but the disease will burst out of there sooner or later. What's known about the disease? Or we have refugees from the Lost Manufactorum launch an atomic strike on the center of the epidemic and incinerate the plague. Seems like a reasonable choice. Tech priests who survived the tech leprosy outbreak have proven their worth and thus earned the right to serve aboard the Rogue Trader ship, plus 20 to all Void Shield sectors. Sounds great. Send tech purgators squads into the center of the epidemic. We lose security, but we gain Healer of Metal. Enemies suffer 5% of their armor, minus 5% of their armor penetration. The Omnissiah's favor is with the Vanquisher of the Tech Leprosy Epidemic. That one doesn't sound amazing. Create an exclusion zone around the Manufactorum. We must study the plague and find a cure for it. Vessel of Tech Leprosy. Deals shock damage with 30% armor penetration. Also inflicts 2 stacks of Perplexed. At the start of each of the target's turns, it gains an additional +1 stack of Perplexed. Definitely not that one. Just a one-use grenade. What is known about this disease? We have not faced anything like this before. The plague only affects mechanisms, forcing them to transform and lose all functionality. No one has been able to provide insight into the nature of this disease or how it found its way into Lady Theodore's secret workshop. It is possible that some secret research was being carried out there. Let's listen to my advisors. The eradication of the infection is the highest priority, but to completely eradicate the Manufactorum serving as the epicenter is to inflict serious damage to the resource supply. This unit, I can propose another method of purging. However, the sacraments of the Omnissiah that are available to me cannot be revealed to the lady. I ask that you place your trust in me. Reasonable. Shireen, do not be so hasty with this purge. This phenomenon may be of interest to other specialists. There are many who do not agree that all knowledge belongs solely to the cogs. What appears to be a plague could hold amazing possibilities. If we could isolate the Manufactorum and let these inquisitive minds inside, they would happily compensate us for the loss of production capacity. I have suppressed 18 different epidemics aboard the flagship, and our officers have experience in setting up quarantines. We will send them to Kiava Gamma to lead the Tech Purgator squads. They will not return from the epicenter until the infection is eradicated and the preventative exclusion zone is taken down. So we can let Pascal go, which gives us the plus 20 void shield sectors. Feels pretty good. The armored penetration I don't care about is Abelard's. Or relationship with Casablanca mission and the grenade for Jai. No, Pascal, do as you wish. You have my permission. Your request is accepted. I shall withdraw to perform the sacrament. The tech priests, armed with a mysterious device they assembled according to the instructions of Magos Hanaman, entered the bowels of the Manufactorum. What happened there is unknown. Reports speak of a blue and green flash that illuminated the Manufactorum, and the epidemic subsided overnight. The distorted mechanisms were honorably melted down, and so were the bodies of the dead tech priests who carried the machine of Magos Hanaman, as well as the burnt remains of the machine itself. The eminent Magos refused to comment on his chosen method of purging, calling it a revelation of the Omnissiah that he himself could not comprehend before it left him. Many of the tech priests who had once maintained the Manufactorum were left without a function and transferred to serve aboard the rogue trader's ship. Lord Captain, a strange anomaly has been detected on Kiaba Gamma. A series of orders defined as Procedure OC has forced itself into the production algorithms. The servants of the Omnissiah define its execution status as most sacred and therefore follow its instructions to the letter. In just one cycle, cells were erected in the Manufactorums connected by cogitators, or more precisely, their computing channels. This network forms a pattern similar to those applied to the digital cells of machine spirits. But they're physically erecting something to simulate digital cells? Okay. Don't know what cells means in this case, because I'm not sure what a digital cell would be. The OC procedure commands Magi with an above-average psi receptivity index to enter the cells. Those tech priests who take their seats in the cells fall into a blissful data stream and begin to sing binaric hymns very similar to those that periodically whirred from the warp box of Cubus Delphim. The performance of the Manufactorums has dropped. Many of the machine god servants have abandoned their posts and are pleading for the privilege of fulfilling Procedure OC, but the enforcers have taken custody of the cells and ward these volunteers away from them. What do we know about this procedure? Could it be part of Delphim's legacy? We cannot trace the source of the signal that activated the procedure or identify its purpose. The tech priests opposed the idea of studying the procedure as it violates the sacrament. Supposedly, the minds of the Magi immersed in the cells are involved in some grand scale of computation. The servants of the Omnissiah have tested the planet's cogitational network 7 times with purifying algorithms of varying degrees of severity, proclaiming it clean. Perhaps my advisors would have a few words to share. You say that these cells need to be filled with high psi-sensitive tech priests. Sure, but why use our own servants? Just check out a few remote stations and outposts, look for cogs who are banished as unfit, and you will find 3 times as many more suitable candidates than in the Manufactorums. Psi receptivity rarely goes hand in hand with high rationality, and such tech priests often end their careers in some backwater. Interesting choice. They are singing. It is surprising that your race are able to achieve such a harmonious form of interaction with crafted tools. My kinsmen too use psychoacoustic harmonics to guide our creations. I am not a bone singer myself, but I might be able to tell your servants of certain principles that define the sound of the universe. I find this sacrilegious suggestion to be in breach of the data unity protocol. A signal seemingly from nowhere that has the highest execution priority, a perfect weapon for capturing the planet. It should be anathemized, and I am ready to summon a cadre of competent tech sources from the Inquisition. So, if we let Adira get the tech priests from elsewhere, gives us armor of refraction. It's heavy armor, which means just Abelard can use it. Carapace grants +1 deflection and +10% armor if the wearer has moved during their turn. And +2 additional deflection against human enemies. It's alright. Irliet, share the wisdom of your kinsmen. I don't know about that. Like, I like a lot of what Iliad does, but the idea of having a Eldari advise some weird branch of tech priests that are doing weird singy culty things seems like it's all going in wrong directions. Secrets of the Ancient Cybersmiths. All allies deal logic divided by 15% more energy and machine damage. All allies gain plus 10 lore xenos and plus 10 lore xenos divided by 5% dodge reduction against xenos. Study the procedure. Okay. Or Heinrichs. Abolish of procedure OC. All allies deal 10% more damage to machine creatures, Necron creatures, and targets with the reject the flesh feature. Even the omniscience metal spirits do not dare to force their will upon the rogue trader. I don't know. Do we want to continue with this OC to see what it's about? We don't have any proof that it's tied to Delphim's legacy. But Pascal, who would know, being a tech priest, says it's sacrilegious. Heinrich wants it destroyed. More damage against machines I don't think is terribly important. I don't know. I don't know. Problem is, this is just so meh, even though it feels like the most right, like destroying it, versus the other three are all continuing with the project. And where it looks like half of my advisors are saying help the project and half are saying destroy it, the options it's giving me is 3 help and 1 destroy. I'm definitely leaning towards Iliad's. Because all of us gaining lore xenos plus lore xenos divided by 5% dodge reduction. Is that when we attack xenos, their dodge reduction is, or their ability to dodge is reduced, I think? Ah, man. Sure, Iliad, do your thing. This is so bad. So bad. We will see if the monkey are capable of learning from the civilized. The Dynasty servants began their investigation, seeking to determine the nature and purpose of the mysterious procedure. Awestruck, they encountered ancient creations of data smithing, impossible in the current times, but could not fathom the wisdom of the digital archaeotech. So it's not a remote signal being sent in. Good. Because if it's the signal I was thinking of, that we thought it was related to the Vox, or the warp box of Cubus Delphim, that was a message coming from somewhere out in the warp. If this is something internal to the planet, it feels a lot safer. The blasphemous study of Xenos knowledge undertaken as part of the investigation led it to a series of heretical acts of creation. Yeah, that's fair. The tempted minds of the Magi sought to apply the secrets of the Eldari to their research. The culprits were servitorized, and the result of their work placed into a protective, forbidden catalog. That's fair. Oh, man. I guess we did too many projects all at once. Lord Captain, there has been an act of sabotage on Kiaba Gamma. The cult of the Final Dawn has invaded the planet, cultivated a pack of schismaticals in the bowels of the manufactorums, and set them upon us. The attack was so sudden that we almost lost all the workshops, but we had help. Some entities, already being called Data Angels, have invaded the cogitational network, seized the cogitators and servitors, and used them to repel the first onslaught of the schismaticals. Now there's a fierce struggle taking place all over the planet. The noosphere of the world is boiling. Fortunately, we received information about the impending attack at the last moment. The signal was interrupted in the warp by Cubus Delphim's machine, which we had given to the Inquisition to listen into. How did the cultists infiltrate my world? This was part of a coordinated attack that hit the entire expanse. The heretics must have been preparing for a long time. Thanks to the fact that the planet has been thoroughly purged of the corrupting influence of Cubus Delphim, the cult now has nowhere to hide and no collaborators on the planet. They have utterly failed to compromise our world's defenses. What do we know about these data angels? Not much. They are machine spirits being born from the art of data smithing. They charge into battle chanting the same binaric mantra that the participants of Procedure OC chanted. But they're machine spirits, so this is just all a battle of data. Like in the Wi-Fi cloud. Sure. The Logists who have been observing them, the same tech priests who previously investigated the cells used in Procedure OC, have deciphered traces of their activity and discovered patterns pointing to the possible creators of these data angels. If they are right, then they bear the seal of the Explorator Cognizance Fleet. That's accessing the fleet's catalog. No mention of operations on Kiaba Gamma detected. No information on data angels detected. Hypothesis. Either there has been a calculation error, or the information is locked behind a higher level of sacrament security clearance. So we could hear our options from officers and advisors. Tech use 80%. Let us join forces with the data angels and get rid of the corruption together. Which would give us complacency and blessing of the data angels. All allies gain +5 perception and +10% armor penetration. Just forever. May battle never betray the master whose deeds please the Omnissiah. Or let the righteous warriors of Kiaba Gamma exterminate all the data spirits. Terror of Kiaba Gamma. Machine creatures, Necron creatures, creatures with rejected flesh, deal 10% less damage to the rogue trader and their allies. Well, of those two, I definitely like the join forces more. But let's see the opinions of my officers and advisors. The manufactorums of Kiaba Gamma are equipped with backup cogitators to ensure the continuity of production in an emergency. The severity of the situation authorizes the disruption of the service algorithms, and I am prepared to sanction a ritual that will allow the data angels of the Omnissiah to absorb the cogitators' computing power to combat these wicked spirits. That's our only bit of advice, but it raised his chances up to 90% from 80%. Well, let's go for it. Please don't fail. Succeeded. The request to perform the sacrament is accepted and will be fulfilled immediately. Having gained access to the cogitational reserves and after being infused with power, the data angels charged at the schismaticals. The hordes of data spirits were tech exercised and exterminated, and the afflicted mechanisms purged and restored. The tech priests gave praise to the Omnissiah for protecting the production algorithms from severe disruption. After banishing the schismaticals, the data angels withdrew into hiding inside of the cogitational networks, leaving the servants of the Omnissiah to guess at who or what these beings were. Okay, that was a lot. Was there something else I was planning to do here? Oh, I'm now up to 25 Promethium. That seems to be fluctuating a lot. Give us more security and efficiency, which I don't think we need. Right? Yeah. Vivos finished something, okay. Man, there's so much going on. We can't do any of those yet. Dargonus is still working on Call to Arms. Janus is working on Capella Biologist. Foulstone can work on Sacred Comet finally, which I think was the direction I decided I wanted to go. Because a +5 to all characteristics feels really good. As opposed to armor or a hammer. Yeah. Okay, and we got the complete development project to the highest level in any colony. And nothing, no event because of that? There we go. Just had to leave and come back. Lord Captain, the situation on Falstone requires your attention. One of the servants tasked with the Crucible's maintenance has declared publicly that he has been liberated of all worldly concerns, for he is none other than the reincarnation of St. Cognatius. There are some extremely questionable reports claiming that he has performed miracles. Supported by a congregation garnered by preaching, he has asked for your lordship's permission to depart from Falstone with the Crucible in tow, so that he may continue St. Cognatius's work, and use the relic to transform worlds, ones true to the faith of the Imperium, into lush, splendorous gardens. Probably not. It goes without saying that such a generous gift to the Koronus Expanse could bring great renown to your lordship, but at a heavy cost. Falstone would turn back into a wasteland, and you would lose the prestige that comes from having charge of such a valuable relic. What do we know about this so-called St. Cognatius' reincarnate? Tibor Hike, a technomat from Footfall. He now prefers to be called Brother Purevoice, an unremarkable commoner with no family, gaunt, unkempt, covered in scabs from working the Crucible. He became obsessed with it from the day it was discovered. He never left his maintenance post, never rested, barely even slept, fasting and living off stimulants and condensate from the relic's cooling circuit. Then he started having revelations and eventually saw the truth, or he went completely insane. His sermons are directed at commoners, appealing to them for humility and mercy. He often speaks about his former life as a saint, and many of these tales match the legends of St. Cognatius. No anarchical pronunciations or radical deviations from the creed have been found in his words, yet. Alright. We could... Wow, we have 4 options. We could execute this dangerous agitator publicly. The colony must have order. We would lose complacency, gain St. Cognatius's Horstensorium. Whenever the wearer suffers an attack from a demon or warp damage, they inflict burning 8 to all adjacent enemies. All burning effects inflicted by the wearer deal double damage if they target demons or psykers. I don't really care about the burning damage to adjacent creatures, but doing double... all burning being double as much on demons and psykers feels pretty good. Shadow of the Undying One. It's light armor. Whenever the wearer dodges or parries an enemy attack, the wearer gains +7 momentum. Plus weapon skill bonus parry and agility bonus dodge against ranged attacks. Let's make him undergo the trial of purity. Let him die trying to prove his holiness, at least so he can stop troubling the people. He must be inducted into the Order of the Hammer forcibly if necessary. We gain consecrated weapons. The Pure Voice Prophet has blessed the ship's weapons. All void ship weapons except torpedoes deal 10% more damage. Not bad. Or give the Crucible to him. Let him use it to bring worlds into the Imperium's fold. We gain the Emperor's Will Power Hammer. A successful hit with this weapon, the target must pass toughness test with a -10 penalty or become stunned. If the target fails the test, the attack has no cooldown. Which presumably means it has a cooldown. That it's not telling me. Not thrilled by that. I wish to hear the opinions of my advisors. I have had ample experience with saintly saviors like him in the past. Whatever great cause they proclaim as their mission, they genuinely, naively believe the people really do need them. If we round up enough orphans and lepers who would trip over themselves to beg for our prophet for salvation, he will soon forget all about the Crucible and his holy mission. I know a few guilds of professional beggars who would be delighted to offer their services to us. What does that accomplish? We just get a guild of professional beggars to make him think that he's helping them and ignore the crucible? I don't see that that helps us in any way. False prophets in the street are a common occurrence. Their sermons breed turmoil, riots, and acts of disobedience. The Inquisition recommends that such unstable agents be isolated and quietly removed. The archenemy's lies take many guises, but the Emperor's miracles are 100-fold stronger. On more than a few occasions, he has bestowed epiphanies upon the faithful, even those of the humblest origin. I myself bear the name of a poor orphan who was granted miraculous powers by his grace. So give me time, and I will find you the most loyal agents to escort Brother Purevoice on his travels. They will keep him safe if he is pure, or punish him should they sense deceit in his words, but I have a feeling that his rebirth is a true wonder. You're too trusting, I think. So if Heinrich's agents get rid of him, we just get the item and some complacency. Executing the dangerous person gives us the item and loses complacency. We would get the consecrated weapons if Jai does her thing. So he would bless our weapons, but not have to take the crucible. If we went with Argenta, we would get 2 profit factor, the Emperor's Will Hammer, and Pure Voiced Fame. Rogue Trader gains plus 15 bonus to all their skills. I mean, that's not nothing. But I'm actually tempted by Jai's, because consecrated weapons plus 10% damage with our weapons feels pretty good. Since we recently had a ship battle that we couldn't handle. Little bonuses to make our ship better. Feels better than this item. I mean, double damage, double burning damage to demons and psykers. It's cool, but I suspect I'm already using slots for important things. We already gained another item that I haven't equipped yet. And they say if we give up the crucible, Foulstone just becomes a barren rock again. And I don't know what long-term effects that's going to have, so I'm more inclined to have Jai do her thing. Leave the crucible here, and we will just boost our ship. Gladly, Shireen. Manipulating blessed simpletons is the easiest thing in the world. There's nothing they crave more than to feel needed. The pure-voiced prophet was mobbed by an entourage of professional beggars and cripples. Upon seeing how many people need him on Foulstone, the saint reincarnate gave up on his ambition of spreading the faith to new worlds. He vowed not to leave the planet for as long as there remained even a single soul in need of his help. He only left Foulstone once, to bless the Lord Captain's ship and counsel him to carry on St. Cognatius' holy cause. Alright, and that's the one where we finished up that. So, all that out of the way. What have we gotten recently? We got this. I haven't really noticed the experimental psi amplifier doing anything. So I'm inclined to just switch that out for this that bleeds and blinds my targets. So we'll call that good. Go to ship maintenance. We got these 3 new items. So 85% chance to hit, 10% critical hit chance. Upgrades to 92 and 15. But we would lose the evasion increase by 15%. But I think more targeting and more critical is more important. Better shields is better. And this goes into what slot? These. Long-range lance weapon dealing from 45 to 55 damage to a chosen enemy within a narrow firing arc. Or torpedo tubes capable of firing 5 plasma torpedoes with 19 damage warheads. I mean, I never use torpedoes. We always use the fighters. So, replacing my torpedo tubes feels good, I think. Yeah. I wonder if there's any way to, like, scrap these into scrap. Because I just have so much here. We could upgrade our RAM if we just had more scrap. And there's a bunch of these I'm not going to use. Because I've just got better. Okay. That's all of that. Way too much talking. So main quest there. We did technically get an improvement to our Auspex. So we could give the Eye of the Magnetic Storm another shot. Might as well, we're right here. Historically, we've never been able to pull this off. But no harm in trying again. So if we go to you... What is this artificial object? Have we explored that yet? Yeah, so... Only truly powerful diviner machines may see through the mystic currents of magnetic fluctuations in their blessed vigil and discover the mysteries of this Emperor-forsaken planet. We will leave it and come back later. How have I checked you out, artificial object? All usual noise on the bridge ceases when the shadow of a gigantic void ship seemingly appeared out of nowhere. Sails past the stained glass windows. It seems forlorn. The hull is tarnished, the lumens are dead, the windows are broken and shrouded. The auger crew can't recognize the signature of its silent engines. They only manage to shed some light on its decrepit hull and make out the faded name of the cruiser, Queen's Lament. Boxmaster reports breaks the somber silence. The bridge has just received a boxcast from the dead void ship. Let's accept it. Business conducts a full Vox system check and reports that the communications are in order, even though only eerie, unnatural silence can be heard through the Vox. Worried murmurs sweep across the bridge. The officers are certain that this is the void ship of the old ghost story. The Queen's Lament has appeared countless times in all corners of the Imperium. Like a ghost, it manifested out of nowhere, just as mysteriously vanished into the darkness of space, taking with it those who dared to board. Queen's Lament, the rogue trader, has heard that name before. This void ship was destroyed by Xenos in one of the violent battles of the Expanse over 3 millennia ago. They say that its captain was a devout and vengeful man. So, the rumors are that anyone who boards gets mysteriously banished with the ship into darkness. Do we send scouts aboard anyway? Do we attack it, even though the ship, last we knew, was captained by a devout and vengeful man? Or do we not disturb it and let it go on? I think we'll send scouts aboard, who potentially might get vanished with the ship. The shuttle carrying the soldiers dock with the Queen's Lament without impediment. Using the disparate blueprints of other Imperial cruisers, the scouting party sets out to the bridge, following the dark, unpowered corridors that somehow retained oxygen and gravity. The numerous voices of the operator erupts through the Vox. The crews are still on board, but what's this? Blurry silhouettes of people with torn off limbs, cut open bellies, and twisted faces are materializing and vanishing all around in ghostly flashes. The ghosts promise the unwelcome guests that they will stay on board the Queen's Lament forever. Raising his voice to a shout, the operator reports that his comrades are already dead, and soon it will be his turn. The augurs are telling a different story. All of the scouts are alive and still moving forward. Persuasion, order the operator to pull himself together. Soldiers must be prepared to face even the most terrifying space horrors. coercion, coerce the operator. He will be severely punished if he does not pull himself together, or logic. Calm the soldier down. He was probably scared by the strange visions and lost sight of his comrades. We'll go persuasion. Pull himself together. He must face even the most terrifying space horrors. An anxious prayer to the Emperor is whispered over the box. For a moment, the operator falls silent, then suddenly returns, mumbling excuses about his imagination playing tricks on him. His comrades are still walking ahead of him, alive and well, and the void ship looks completely empty again. After a few minutes of silence, a child's cry can be heard through the vox. The stuttering operator reports that friends and family of the members of the scouting party are blocking the way. The friends and family, who've all been taken by death. The soldiers confirm that they're not seeing ghosts, but living people made of flesh and bone. Soldiers are begging the rogue trader to let them talk to their loved ones for a moment. Lord Warp, remind the soldiers that it's impossible to cheat death. These visions must be a product of some dark power. Let the soldiers stay with their loved ones for a short time. No. Order the squad to proceed under threat of tribunal. Remind the soldiers that it's impossible to cheat death. These visions must be a product of some dark power. The scouts begin to argue. The unintelligible quarreling abruptly stops, and after a few minutes, the operator anxiously gives his report. As soon as the squad split up, the ones who decided to stay with their loved ones were swallowed by the darkness of the empty deck and vanished. Well, good. Half an hour later, the box comes to life once again. The operator flatly reports that the scouting party has reached the bridge. The cogitators are broken, so extracting any data from them seems impossible. The scouts have found a strange object in the captain's chair. They can't describe it, only saying that this shouldn't be there. In his usual flat voice, devoid of emotion, the operator completes his report. The way to the bridge took 16 hours and 41 minutes. The soldiers are exhausted and would like to rest for some time. Confused, Vigis notes that only half an hour has passed outside the Queen's Lament. Let the scouts rest. That seems like a bad idea. Order the squad to retrieve the unknown object and withdraw immediately. The object doesn't matter. The scouts should leave the void ship immediately. No, retrieve the object and then withdraw. The Voxcast stops abruptly, and a few minutes later, the scouting party's shuttle leaves the Queen's Lament. The void ship itself dissolves into the darkness of space. The shuttle arrives carrying a single passenger, the operator, clutching a strange parcel. The young man's hair has turned white after the time spent on the cursed vessel, and he has lost the ability to speak. His story and rumors of what happened to the other scouts will live on for many years in hushed whispers across every deck of the rogue trader's void ship. And we gained Unholy Relics. This amulet grants the wearer a plus 20 bonus to coercion and a minus 5 penalty to intelligence. Interesting. Yeah, that's the pirates that we don't want to fight. We could head all the way up here. Or we could finally get back onto normal quests. Which I'm thinking going to Cassia's mission seems the most interesting at the moment. So let's head that way. Although part of me wants to just create a connection to here and then a connection to there, so we have another path that's getting us around. Yeah, help us getting around when we're down in this area. Have a faster route over there rather than having to go all the way up and around and over and then down. Yeah, let's do so. So if we go here, we spend 3 points to make a deadly route, and then 2 more points to make it safe-ish. And then we can warp travel to here. Oh, okay. I thought that we would have a event once we got into the system, but no, we're getting an event just for landing at the system. Koronus Expanse, region Orsilio Prophecy System, location Sanctum Navis, exterior observation chambers, material witness interrogation Vox record conducted by upper deck enforcers, entry A201.48.66.10, 10 chronometer turns since the incident. Enforcer, witness hit it on 00110101. You claim that you left the Sanctum Navis on the Lady Navigator's orders? Affirmative. This unit acted in accordance with the maintenance protocol TRN-08353. Step 1. Sense the sacred mechanisms for the duration of 15 chronometer turns. Step 2. You failed to inform the bridge about the imminent jump. I want to know why. The data unavailable. The Lady Navigators ordered that she be connected to the void ship, but she did not order the preparation of the machine spirits for warp translation. Cause, a ritual that cannot be identified by the unit's capabilities. This unit received the command to interrupt protocol TRN-08353 and exit the Sanctum Navis. 30 kilometers turns since the incident. No, please, not the fingers. I'm gonna break one for every word of a lie I hear coming from your mouth. Now talk. Please, you have to believe me. All we did was prepare the canvas and mix the Lady Navigator's blood into the paints. Then we were told to lock open the shutters so that the Lord Captain could see everything that was going on inside the Sanctum Navis from the observation chambers, and... Grok shit. Armor glass can't shield you from warp horrors. I swear it on my soul. In the Golden Throne Master Enforcer, the Lady Navigator only wanted to paint a picture for a ritual or some such. That's all I know. She wasn't going to use the powers in her eye, but I still got as far away from there as I could. That's all I saw, I'm telling you. 50 chronometer turns since the incident. I haven't been looking over here at these pictures, and now I am, and I wish I had been. Just saw it change, and I was like, oh no, I missed other stuff. So that's her painting her pictures of the warp. That's not something you want to see in the warp, I'm sure. We performed an emergency warp jump, barely activated the Geller field in time, and are now being dragged to throne knows where by an unknown force. The Lady Navigator and the Lord Captain are still unaccounted for. Now tell me one more time what transpired in the Sanctum Navis. I escorted the Lord Captain to the observation chambers and yelled at the servant for leaving the shutters open, but then I was told it was on the rogue trader's orders. We could see the Lady Navigator clearly through the armor glass. She was lost in thought, staring at the canvas in front of her. She looked like she was completely unaware of the world around her. Soon the servants were ordered to leave the Sanctum Navis, and the Lady Navigator picked up her brush. Entranced, she started dragging it across the canvas, painting one image over another, and another one over the last, and another, and then the Lord Captain noticed it. There was a thing on the other side. The picture, covered in a layer of fresh blood, was coming to life, but the Lady Navigator was oblivious. That's when the Lord Captain dashed to the control panel, gave the orders to shoot at the window, thus drawing Lady Cassia's attention. Call that to Lady Cassia. I'm going to call out to Lady Cassia. She probably won't hear through the armor glass, but we're going to call out to her. Startled by the Lord Captain's cry, the Lady Navigator answered. That's when I realized it. The armor glass between us and the Sanctum Navis was gone, and the things in the painting, they broke free. And what happened next? I barely remember a thing. There was a bright flash of purple blur. I remember feeling so scared that my knees were shaking. I remember my legs carrying me away like they had a mind of their own. As I ran, I heard screams behind me. The Lord Captain and Lady Cassia, oh God, Emperor, the creatures, they pulled them both inside the painting. Sir? Mistress Voxmaster, I have a report that needs to be delivered to the senior officers. The Lord Captain and Lady Navigator were lost during an emergency warp jump. Their whereabouts are still unknown. I'm sending you the interrogation reports and a recording. Sector, no data. Region, no data. Location, no data. Material, relation to the Lord Captain's personal account, recorded by no data. Note, strictly classified. Access protocol holder, Ignatius von Valencius. Pasiphanes Orsilio's ritual did not go as planned. The warp disturbance, triggered by the Lady Navigator's trance, washed over the Sanctum Navis. The void ship's machine spirits reacted to the surge of the Imperium and interpreted it as a call to action. Thus did the emergency jump into the unknown begin. Amid the shrieks and sirens, the clanging of shutters, and the distant hum of the warp engine, some unknown will pulled the Lord Captain into the Sanctum Navis, toward the creatures from the living canvas that had already gripped the Lady Navigator's throat. Horrified, almost out of breath, and struggling to scream, Cassia stretched out her hand and began slowly sinking into her own painting. The Lord Captain snatched a dagger from the floor and started hacking at the hands reaching from inside the painting. Reasonable choice. Not really something we would do, but apparently Ulfar's here with us. Tried to escape the Sanctum Navis, or grabbed Lady Navigator's hand to try and pull her back. I mean, trying to pull her back feels like the best call to me, but we have 100% chance with attacking the painting and only 70% to try and pull her back. So I'm going to try and hack at the painting and hope that gives a similar result of pulling her out of the painting. Although, from the report we already read, it says that we ended up getting pulled into the painting. So I'm assuming no matter what we do, we're going to end up in the painting. But let's start hacking at the hands reaching from inside the painting. The ritual dagger of House Orsilio cleaved the billowing shadows, and yet the painted hands reformed itself the moment after the blade passed through. Cassia went limp in the clutches of the horrific creations and was immediately pulled into the other side of the painting. A moment later, Ignatius, still clutching the dagger, was likewise plunged into the depths of the world the Lady Navigator had created. This reminds me of a quest from Oblivion that I played way back in the day, where you get pulled into a painting. It was a cool quest, so I'm wondering how it will be presented here. Ignatius awoke, finding himself in the middle of a gigantic, boundless, billowing nothingness. His body felt weightless, floating in a void strewn with hundreds of the Lady Navigator's colors, some of them bright and warm and alluring, others morose, cold, and heavy. Lord Captain reached for the bright colors, swam towards the dark colors, or closed his eyes and remained adrift in the weightlessness. I think our goal should be to find Cassia, and I'm hoping that she would go towards the brighter colors, because she hates the darker colors, is what we've seen. So let's go for the bright colors. Ignatius plunged into the river of bright hues, and flashes of rosy sunset and lilac carried him down the dazzling stream. Before long, the Lord Captain was standing in an idyllic garden permeated with the fragrance of flowers and the singing of birds. Servants in purple livery darted back and forth, attending to a withered old woman in a navigator's mask. Sitting on her lap and smiling coyly to everyone was a little girl with ruby eyes and white hair. Have we gone into a memory of her past? Maybe. Be a good little girl, my child, until the day we meet again. With trembling hands, the woman handed the girl to a navigator in laboratory attire. I am out of time. Prepare the child for the Atlas transfer, and destroy all records and mentions of the world of Ir-TV. None must learn of that which took place here. Remember, her body must grow strong for it to accept my power, and once I have returned, loyalty will be rewarded. Well, that's not good if her mother is trying to come back and possess her body, is what it sounds like. The memory dissipated, and a gust of silvery wind hurled the Lord Captain back into the ocean of nothingness. But this time the nothingness felt dismal. Instead of bright hues, all of it contained was shadows of invisible monsters swimming by, shrouded by a nebulous veil of unfathomableness. Lord Captain, I guess we swim towards the dark colors, because if these are memories, I'd rather learn what both of them are before we just stop trying. So let's go to the dark colors. Hopefully it returns us. Grayish blue waves swallowed the Lord Captain, and the feeling of lightness disappeared as his limbs grew heavy again. Ignatius fell on the hard floor of a laboratory cluttered with bats as tall as a human. Inside them were dozens, hundreds even, of repulsive mutants. Some had no arms, or no legs, or two heads, or no face, or their innards turned inside out, but each had white skin, white hair, long clawed limbs, and ruby eyes. My lady, the child is born! Is Cassia not a normal navigator, just born like a normal child, but instead a laboratory experiment? Tons that went wrong being maintained, and she was the first success. The tall woman slowly approached one of the bats. Readings? Stable. Mutations? None were detected at any of the stages. Genes? Identical, my lady. Chances of survival? 100 times higher than any of the previous experiments. How long will it take for this child to grow? How long will it take to grow this child? I fear accelerating the process might cause the body to fail. The only one after years of silence. I understand the situation. Natural growth. I do not have that much time. We'll have to go with the backup plan. Yes, Novator, it will be done. And the memory dissipates, and a gust of silvery wind hurled the Lord Captain back into the ocean of nothingness. But this time, the nothingness felt dismal. Instead of bright hues, all it contained was shadows of invisible monsters swimming by, shrouded by a nebulous veil of unfathomableness. Lord Captain closed his eyes and remained adrift in the weightlessness. So she was a cloned experiment of the previous Novator, specifically to be able to take the Atlas so that the Novator could eventually repossess her body. It's bad. Closed his eyes and remained adrift in the weightlessness. Ignatius stayed in that ocean of nothingness, devoid of any sensation or emotion, until an ornate ritual dagger floated before his eyes, reminding him of a world that once seemed more real than this one. Someone's scream broke the delicate equilibrium of the Lord Captain's motionless body, and the weightlessness released him. He plummeted into the maroon abyss of roiling illusions, but was now in full control of his body again. Then Ignatius descended into the abyss towards the screams. Lord Captain crashed in from an immeasurable height to the bottom of a roiling abyss. In the next moment, Ignatius saw two figures amid the billowing maroon mist. One of the figures, unnaturally gaunt and tall, was clutching the other, smaller one, in its claws, screaming furiously. Lord Captain, 87%. Man, that's a rough test. If we're using Cassia's 157, and it's still not enough to get us 100%, it's only an 87%. But we will attempt to peer into the strange maroon mist before we draw closer to the figures. But presumably we'll be able to tell it's Cassia and her mother. And what is with those faces? Succeeded, good. In the swirling mist all around him, Ignatius could make out the faces. Could make out human faces stricken with torment. And not just human faces, there were xenos, Eldari. Their features fused together with those of humans, which made the Crimson Spectres look all the more abominable. Their gazes and their rage were directed at the two unmoving figures facing each other. Lord Captain drew closer to look at the figures. One step was all it took for some unknown force to notice the Lord Captain, seize him, and drag him through the painting's twisted space. Now the Lord Captain could clearly see the dark shade of the long-dead navigator, leaning over Cassia, clutching her neck in its clawed fingers. The shade screamed, "You were given life because of me. You survived because of me. And here you are now, because I have willed it so. Bow before me. Tell me what I wish to hear, and your suffering will end. Go on, child. I've waited for so long. Submit to me." Yeah, don't submit. Cassia looked exhausted, her body covered in hundreds of thin cuts, her lips lacerated, claw marks on her cheeks, yet there was steadfast resolve in her eyes. "I know who you are, Tisiphone Orsilio. I know what you crave. I saw it in the visions that you sent me again and again. I won't allow you. I will never allow you to become me." Cassia's fatigued voice quivered, but she was not about to yield in this battle. Lord Captain stabbed Tisiphone Orsilio with the ritual dagger. Persuasion urged the Lady Navigator to fight the monster to the bitter end, or chose not to intervene. I mean, the Lady Navigator is vague in this case because they're both Lady Navigators. But referring to one as a monster, I'm assuming we are urging Cassia to fight Tisiphone. But that definitely needed to be worded better. Also, the fact that we can have Cassia use her persuasion to persuade herself to fight better. But I think we'll do the persuasion first before we stab Tisiphone Orsilio. Because I don't know what stabbing is going to do. But certainly Cassia can keep fighting. Lord Captain's words attracted not just Lady Cassia's attention. Tisiphone Orsilio finally noticed the presence of a living creature in that bizarre world, turned to face the interloper, and lunged forward, seething with rage. When the entity's claws were millimeters from the rogue trader's throat, Cassia opened her navigator's eye, and a wave of unbridled warp energy obliterated Tisiphone's specter before she realized what was happening. The Lady Navigator graced the Lord Captain with a tired smile. The abortive ritual had turned out to be a trap set for Lady Cassia by the previous Novator of her house, but the rogue trader had ensured that her plan fell to ruin, and now it was time to desert that accursed place. Cassia took the rogue trader's hand, and guided him through the maroon mist and out of the painting. Their unconscious bodies were discovered in the Sanctum Navis 20 Terran days after their disappearance, as soon as the rogue trader's void ship had emerged from the warp in an unknown system. I mean, this doesn't seem like an unknown system. This seems like the system we were heading to. But okay. Chart new routes. No new routes were found. Perform the ritual. Didn't we just do that? Let's see your quest. So if we go to... Oh yeah, that is this one. It's still showing perform the ritual even though it's done. The Lady Navigator is plagued by visions of her house's past. Cassie's asked the rogue trader to follow her visions so that she may expose the past and understand her true purpose in this world. The ritual recreated an ancient warp route which brought the rogue trader and the Lady Navigator to a world hidden in the eye of a warp storm. What secret does the planet's twisted heart contain? Crone World. Let's head in. We don't know which of these is the Crone World. The purple star is certainly something. I'm guessing you're the Crone World. Because you look weird and that looks like a standard lava world. Burning World. There is an event here. Augury's Anomaly. Before you is a burning world of inhospitable place at the mercy of a perpetual inferno due to its suffocating atmosphere and close proximity to the system's star. The firestorms on its surface never cease. What could the Casabalica be looking for in such a place? Okay. The Casabalica had a ship that we talked to ages ago that wanted information about burning worlds. We've run into several, but presumably this is the one specifically that they're looking for. Logic 100. Use the full capabilities of the augurs to locate something unusual on the planet. After many long hours spent analyzing the augur data, the tech priest noticed something unusual. A number of constructions of artificial origin can be detected under the planet's surface. They are too vast and peculiar to have been created by humans, but their geometric shapes and other properties clearly indicate they were put together by sentient beings of some kind. So some xeno artifact. Unfortunately, there are traces of human activity next to the mysterious constructions. It looks like somebody found a way to land on the planet and set up an archaeological dig. These ancient monuments have been stripped of anything of value or interest, but other burning worlds may yield new discoveries. Okay, then no. This isn't specifically the one they're looking for. This is a burning world that had cool stuff, but no longer. Well, we are basically at the end of my usual stream time, and I would rather wait to see where this storyline goes, because I don't know how long it's going to take, and I don't want to cut up the middle of a companion quest. So, I think I'm going to end the stream here, and next time we will head to this world, presumably the Crone World, and see what's going on with Cassia's questline. So thank you all for being here, and I will see you next week when we continue. Find out what's going on with Cassia's questline. Bye.